off the tracks. It's Chet. It's Rafe. We're back. Do we have anyone in here? Let's take a look.
Coming.
We had 0 live viewers.
I made it.
I'm gonna send it to Nolan and then make him send it to everyone he knows. Chet. Oh shit! Sorry. NBA draft.
Here, I'm finishing a story. I'll be here.
Exciting stuff about to happen here, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, that is. Do you think we have any female viewers? Probably not.
Probably not. No, probably not. Okay, that's up. Ready to go here. Do this here.
I'll post it on my story. Bro, I sent the link in the group chat. Grilly goes valedictorian. Get the fuck out of here. Sorry, I actually gotta chill. I wonder if he's
I
here
don't even know what that means.
because I was valedictorian.
Oh, shut up.
And they like make fun of me for it. But
Really?
I don't know how you can make fun of me for being valedictorian in my class. All right, Ace Bailey for real. Where's he going?
I think somebody trades up to number 3 and takes him.
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think people get a little worried that the 76, well, maybe not the 76ers actually, because he kind of canceled on him.
Yeah. I don't know I don't imagine anyone of like Brooklyn, Washington, or New Orleans taking it. Maybe Utah, but I think Utah might go like, I don't know. I don't know who Utah's going to go.
Big fan of Ace. I know I kind of let people convince me that he's not good. Which, look, high ceiling. I get caught up in the high ceiling prospects. Probably not the best idea, but I do.
I think he's got an incredibly low floor. I can admit he does have a high ceiling, but I'm not sold on Ace Bailey. I'm not. I don't think he's all that great. I think there's plenty of better players that you can take at 3. Colin Knippel. Like, if I'm Philadelphia, I'm picking Colin Knippel, without a doubt in my mind.
The age-old tradition of booing the commissioner.
Oh, Halliburton on the first guy I see. That's pretty cool.
Sorry.
I actually kind of just spam. I've been spamming watching just him getting hurt over and over again the last few days, just to kind of just to feel it. You
See the video of Shea in the locker room with him?
I did, man.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I wonder if they would have done that if they weren't on the Netflix show together. But also still pretty cool, pretty nice. Shout out Shea. I dislike some guys on the Thunder a good bit, but Shea's not one of them.
Hey, who do you dislike?
Dude. You told me that people lied about the whole Lou Dort plays like a football player. He so much does.
All right.
And then he flops, dude. Are you kidding me?
He flops a little bit.
He flops a lot. Say a lot.
I love Lou Dort. Shout out Lou Dort.
Caruso as well.
Love Caruso.
Caruso,
my dog.
Caruso not as well. Actually, Caruso throws his hands up after every time he gets a foul called on him when they're like blatant fouls.
He does do that.
But a lot of my problem with Caruso was like just the way that he's officiated. And he and Dort were allowed to just freaking do whatever they wanted to do, and you weren't allowed to breathe on anyone. So, anyways, that's enough. That's enough talking about the Thunder. See, this is my thing. We should be on the clock by 7 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock Eastern time. But
I agree. Did you see, by the way, Dallas or Duke post? They already congratulated Cooper Flagg for going to Dallas like 2 hours ago.
No, but that's really funny.
I mean, it's gonna happen.
It is. It's like.
Could you imagine? It's like one of those. Could you imagine if they just didn't? That'd be.
Nico Harrison. Listen, he's always got something up his sleeve.
Yeah, I guess you can't put it past Nico after.
What'd you think of the
whatever last year was? That trade.
What'd you think of the Kyrie extension?
Smart. I mean, if you're gonna trade Luka, you gotta keep Kyrie.
I think getting him and Davis on the same timeline is smart. Slash, I think it's a 2+1. Is it a player or a team option?
I would assume it's player,
I
but
would
I'm not
also
for
assume
sure.
it's a player option. So like, hey, you can after, 3 years, 2 years, you could be like, you know what, Kyrie, we don't want you back.
Yeah, they kind of went. I mean, obviously they went all in on Kyrie and Anthony Davis here. They lucked into the
They
number
have
one
to,
pick.
though.
Yeah, but yeah, when you make a move like that, you gotta commit all the way to Kyrie and Anthony Davis. So yeah, it was a smart move. They still got to do something to kind of shore up the lineup until Kyrie can get back.
Yeah.
But which I assume they will.
Oh yeah, they'll go get a guy. They'll go get like a Dennis Schroeder type Tyus Jones type of player.
Yeah, I think they'll be just fine though. Whoever they get,
Yeah.
they'll be pretty good.
How many minutes per pick here? Is it 7 or is it 5 in the NBA draft?
There's no way it's 7. I'm guessing
it's
5.
I think it's 5. Interesting.
Probably should know that one.
Yeah, should know that one. I did
Don't.
not. I did not. I was not aware of that.
So, you think they did the NFL thing and told them that they can't submit it until however long, or like because they did that with Caleb Williams in Chicago? They said they had to wait to call it in.
I did not know that actually.
Yeah, they made him wait until like the 5-minute mark or something like that.
See, I always feel like they usually do that just in case any teams are maybe just throwing one last
Potentially.
Hail Mary at them, and then you get something stupid. But I mean, what would you have to trade here for Cooper Flag?
Everything.
You know, dude, what if he's a bust? What if he just sucks? I don't think he's going to.
I don't think he's going to. I think at the very least he's going to be like an all-star player,
Yeah, which
which is good.
if that's your floor,
Yeah, if you're a for sure all-star pretty much, it feels like you take him number 1.
I think the draft. Listen, these first 2 picks aren't very interesting.
Right.
I could see, like, it will not surprise me if San Antonio throws a curveball and goes like VJ or like if they go VJ, but they only worked out Dylan Harper. I think this is going to be Dylan Harper at 2, but after that,
It's pretty wide open, and there could be a
Yeah.
ton of movement too, like a ton.
and it literally starts at pick 3. Is this shut?
Throwing phones. Somebody's I can't read it from all the way
It says
over here.
Mathurin,
so-
Neesmith, Siakam, and 2 firsts for number 1 overall, and Max Christie. I mean, yeah, I would do it.
I'd say that's a good deal for the Pacers.
I'd do it for Cooper Flag. Yeah. What's up, Sam? How you feeling, Sam? How's everyone doing tonight, man? It's hot. It's hot.
It's gotten pretty hot. It seems like it's hot everywhere, at least around here. It's hot everywhere. Everybody's complaining about it. I don't know. We've talked about this before. I'd rather it be hot than cold.
I would rather be this than anything under freezing.
I always forget how much bull crap goes on in drafts. Like, can we just
Yeah.
let's just get to it, shall we?
Is their only pick tonight? Man. Dude. It's crazy. It is actually crazy how, like, beyond just, like, trading Luka, how much getting the number 1 overall pick meant for Dallas.
Yeah, it literally saved jobs, saved a franchise potentially. Like, look, they were gonna be good regardless. Like Dallas after trading Luka, because you've got Kyrie and Anthony Davis as long as they're healthy. And obviously, there's Anthony Davis health questions. Kyrie's been healthy. There's been some things off the court that he's had, specifically when he was in Brooklyn. But, if Anthony Davis can stay healthy and once Kyrie gets back, like, they were objectively still going to be a good team. That's why, like, the trade discourse and talking about that trade was so weird. But it was definitely a bad trade because it's Luka Doncic and he's 25 years old still?
Yeah.
So,
Sam says, Silver killed the lottery and Thunder killed ethical hoops. Retweet. Flag Day out there in Newport, Maine. Actually, I had a conversation. I had met a girl that was went to the neighboring high school of Cooper Flag.
Really?
Actually, yeah.
how did, I'm guessing they didn't beat him?
Oh, I don't know. We didn't go much into conversation on that. She just told me she was from Maine, and I just was like, "Oh, Cooper Flag," and that was. She was like, "Oh my gosh, yeah." What's the population on
Only
that?
3,133 as of the 2020 census. Only just over 3,000 people in Newport, Maine. So yeah, pretty big deal there, which is pretty cool.
What did I do with my
That's
water?
almost. This is sad. I don't even know the population here.
It cannot be more than 1,200. What's going on, Bryce? How you doing? What did I do with my water? Oh, it's right here.
Yeah, we're severely below that. About 1,500.
Jeez.
So about half. So I mean, I guess I can't really call it close, but it's almost like somebody from here going to the NBA. Here we go.
Here we go.
Announcement.
Wow.
Did not see that one coming.
Congratulations, Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
What we've known for months now.
I mean, what can you not say about him? Like, he's going to fit in just fine. He would have fit in anywhere he went. He's going to fit in just fine. It's an already pretty good team. I'm a little nervous about Dallas in the West, especially when Kyrie gets back.
I'm assuming they're going to play him at the 3.
Right.
Because you're going to have, now you've extended Gafford. You've got Davis. It's going to be a good team out there in Dallas. I'm intrigued by Dallas a lot now. I mean, like, obviously, because it's Cooper Flag, but, like, they've got a pretty good roster. And I don't even think it's quiet anymore. I don't think it's a quietly good roster. I think it's it's going to be interesting what's happening over there in the West. Everyone's making moves. I mean, you've got Portland making moves, like going and getting Drew Holiday type of a deal. Like,
yeah, Portland. I'm not gonna say they're gonna be anything crazy. I think they have a chance to be a play-in team. They were only 3 games out of the play-in last year, but
yeah,
they might be something. They might be something. We'll see what else. I'm assuming they're not done. If you go out and get Drew Holiday, there's no way you're done.
Right. I don't know. I'm curious what. Well, I guess I'm not really curious. I don't really like
it right now. Like if this is all they do, then yeah, it's very like okay.
Right.
What was that?
Right.
Like I guess you could make the argument. Drew, he's a veteran. He's got championship experience. Teach some of the young guys. Obviously, they're all the way in on Scoot Henderson now. Which he had a much better second year than his first year. People were already like throwing him out after the first year, but so maybe somebody to mentor. And I don't want to diminish the importance of that because I think looking at Oklahoma City, I think Chris Paul played a huge part for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and I think he played a huge part in San Antonio as well with Stephon Castle, and you saw the year he had. So maybe Drew Holiday can be that type of guy for them. I don't know. But, yeah, if this is the only move that they make, Portland, that is, yeah, I'm raising an eyebrow a little bit, but I don't think they're done.
No, I would have to agree just for the sake of there's no way this is all they're doing. But, I mean, how about the Celtics, though?
Loved everything they did.
I kind of agree. The fact that you cut all that. Oh my goodness, we've got Christian Hagen in the chat.
Shout out, dude.
Christian,
Shout
how
out.
are we doing, man? Christian, we gotta hit the link soon. We gotta get out on the course. Yeah. But the Celtics, the idea that you can shed as much cap space they do, they shed like $200 million in
2 moves,
and they gained a second round pick through all of that.
True.
Through all the trades, which whatever, but it's not like they lost anything.
And all of a sudden, too, like they've got a little bit of flexibility here. Obviously, they get out of the second apron, so that opens up a lot. But just with like Anthony Simons, like if they want to keep him, I think they can. But if they just want to go ahead and move him and potentially get more picks or just shed a little bit more salary too, like, yeah, what they did, they were kind of the blueprint. Like, well, I won't say they're the blueprint, but they're the first team that's having to do this. Like a really good team that's going to be affected by the second apron now that wants to get out of it. There's nothing they can look at to try and like copy them or be like, okay, this worked for them, this didn't work for them. Like they were the first ones, and I think they're off to a great start so far.
There were some good points made about well, how many are the Thunder going to win in a row? And it's like, you're a contract dispute and an injury away from an entire team collapsing. What it looks like they've got everything in front of them, especially in the new look NBA. So that's kind of what the Celtics are going through right now. I think they're doing a very good job of it. You get enough Kristaps. People are kind of clowning the Celtics a little bit, but when they bring in they've got a lot of money to pay, and I think whenever they bring someone else in, people are going to really regret ever talking down on these moves.
And while we're on the night, I think it's important. It's always important, but now, like, it's important for Boston to hit their draft picks too, because that'll help them stay good for a while as well, while being on cheap contracts of their rookies or guys on rookie contracts. Like tonight or tomorrow night, whenever they pick. They have a pick tonight?
Who's that, the Celtics?
Boston,
yeah.
yeah.
I thought they picked later.
Yeah, 28th.
Yeah.
They got 28 tonight. Not sure about tomorrow. I can't see. Yeah, they got a pick tomorrow too. So, yeah. It's important to, get these things right and draft well. It's always important anyway. Already got a jersey.
Already got his number.
Dallas. So, yeah, this was, everybody already knew, but foregone conclusion here. But, yeah, it's important for Boston to hit their draft picks. I think it's going to make things a lot easier for them, obviously. So we'll see what they do tonight to start it off. I kind of like staying on Boston just for a little bit. I kind of like them getting a wing, especially with Tatum out this next year. Maybe get a guy in that can develop a little bit, especially if they keep Sam Hauser and Derek White. Like, they got good guards that can lead them, and Jaylen Brown can run guard a little bit too. I wouldn't mind seeing them get a wing that they feel like has good potential, and kind of let them develop a little bit this year. I don't know who would be available at the bottom there.
Honestly, it could be anyone. Like, honestly, let's just take a look here, just for the sake of the argument. Nick Clifford, I don't think he'll be available by then. Adu Thiero, what I was looking at earlier today, doesn't feel like he's going to be available by then. Here we go. Okay, there you go. And now the draft starts.
Yep. 1 and 2 goes exactly how everybody kind of saw those going. Now we get pretty interesting here with Philadelphia. They can do a number of things. There's been talks of Paul George potentially being on the move. I don't know how accurate that'll be. I think especially with everything that's gone on in the East, Philadelphia probably feels pretty good about where they're at right now, especially if they can add a top 3 pick. They could trade out, but I think they stick here. I don't know if it's Ace Bailey, but I think they feel pretty good about where they're at.
I don't know. I don't know where they go here. I think it's going to be VJ. If they stay and they pick, I'm fairly confident this is going to be VJ Edgecombe from Baylor, who one of, if not the most athletic guard in this draft. One of, if not the most athletic player in this entire draft. I really enjoyed watching him at Baylor. So him going to play with Jared McCain, Tyrese Maxey, like, that could be a pretty fun team. And the East is wide. We keep talking about it, but the East is wide open. And so I don't really rule many teams out right now. You see kind of what Atlanta's doing. I'm very intrigued by Atlanta going into the year. But the Sixers can go anywhere here. They can go anywhere here. I think they won 24 games this past season, but you're going to get McCain back from injury. You're hoping to get a healthy Embiid. I know we've been talking about that for a good while, and I don't know how much you can really count on that. But, if you've got a healthy Embiid, that probably wins you 10, 15 more games anyways with a healthy Embiid. If you can make the right pick here and insert a guy that fits well within your team, I would go Con Knippel. I genuinely think that the Sixers are like the perfect team for Knippel right now as far as where they're at. And what I just said about you've got Maxey, you're going to get McCain back. If you can keep Embiid healthy, I think Con Knippel at the 3 is just perfect for this team. That's where I would go. But also VJ Edgecombe is not a bad pick here.
Yeah, he's not a bad pick. I agree with that a lot because they've got a lot of guards as it is right now. So Like, I mean, he could probably outplay some of these guys, but I mean, Maxey, he's going to be there. McCain showed promise, a lot of promise before he got hurt last year. Lowry. So,
Right.
like, there's a lot of guards that he's going to be playing behind. He could get some time, and like I said, he could overtake some of those guys too. But yeah, I think Colin Knippel fits really well. He could get decent minutes, even if it's off the bench. He could still get decent minutes, and I think he could be like a factor for them too, and like help them win games. Not saying VJ Edgecombe couldn't either, but like
Sure.
I think more so with Colin Knippel.
I think Knippel's more of a sure thing, and VJ is more of a project. VJ needs some work, and I still think he's going to be pretty good in the league. I think he's going to be a really fun player to watch for years to come. But at first, I think he could have a slower start out of the gate. And maybe Philadelphia, maybe they don't care about that. Maybe they are okay with, you know, developing him. But as far as player development goes, I mean, they've been better about it recently with like Maxey and McCain. But like before that, I mean, the Sixers player development was not great.
Yeah.
So, I'm really intrigued here because what they do here is really going to dictate a lot of what happens moving forward. I mean, if they go VJ or Knippel or anyone that's not named Ace Bailey, now we're watching Ace Bailey, and that's all we're thinking about. If they go Ace Bailey here, then I think a lot of teams that are behind him that were really hoping he falls to them, now they've got to pivot. So this is a really intriguing pick here. Man, I'm excited here. Please go Trey Johnson. That would be the funniest pick here if they go Trey Johnson. 3-1. Come on. What we got going on here? I hate getting on Twitter during the draft, during the NFL draft at least.
Because it gets spoiled.
Get spoiled. I don't
Sure.
like it. This is awesome. This is fun.
I'm not, to be honest. Well, I mean, everybody knew what these two picks were going to be, but I haven't seen anything before the picks anyway. I'm trying to look at the Sixers roster, see if there's anybody like maybe they're drafting a replacement here and trading out of something, but like the guys that you would think about trading out of, unless you want to talk Joel Embiid and Paul George because of how big their contracts are, but everybody else is like, and Maxey's on a big contract, but obviously he's good and you're going to keep him. Everybody else is on like decent contracts. Maybe Oubre, but he's only making $7 million. Like it's nothing crazy. Lowry's on a decent deal, only $2 million. So like, they're not pressing to get out of contracts again, unless you want to have the Joel Embiid conversation. But
Sure.
with everything, like we've said it however many times, with everything going on, like if you can get him healthy, you feel like a favorite right now.
Yeah, I think you're feeling almost better than you did last year.
Yeah.
If you feeling confident in this number 3 pick and you stick here and pick's not in yet. They've got 30 seconds to go.
Maybe they're talking to people. Maybe they're talking deals, trying to get something done. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, with the Paul George thing too. Like I know he's been hurt a lot. I don't know. Last year he was legitimately hurt. I know people would question when he was in LA and Kawhi was out all the time, and people talked about, do these guys even really want to play? Last year, like they were legit injuries and kind of unfortunate injuries too. But healthy Paul George, like I don't have to tell people, it's not the same as what it once was. Especially like that last year in OKC was like a really good year, minus the playoffs. But he's still a very good player when he's healthy.
And he doesn't even need to be the best player on the team anymore.
Right.
He doesn't even have to be the second best. You've got Maxey there. And honestly, if McCain can take a really big jump, you don't even need to be the third best player on the team. You just need to go and put up 15 a game, and things will be a lot better as far as the vibes go there. VJ Edgecombe had a pretty big smile on his face there. That's another thing I hate. It's when they show the players.
The NBA did a bad job of it last year too. They always went right to the guy, and no shade, but the analyst would always would like talk up the guy that was about to get picked.
Congrats to your cousin Hallie coming back. I think that's Trevor.
Shout out. Hey, thank you.
Hale.
Appreciate it.
Here we go.
So they are picking.
Okay, that's VJ. I think that's a fine pick.
Yeah.
I think that's a fine pick. Again, you're getting a guy that he's definitely not a finished product right out of the gate, but he's such a freak of nature and such a freaky athletic player that he's so hard to pass on. And especially with everything that happened with Ace Bailey and him canceling workouts, he didn't work out for a single team, you know.
Well, and canceling on the 76ers too. Like,
Right.
there's no way. At that point, you're like, okay.
I
Probably
really
not.
like this pick, actually. I really like VJ Edgecombe. I like this pick a lot. Freshman of the year in the Big 12 and well-deserved. Played really well for Baylor. He was such a fun player to watch.
By the way, last year was the last year of Kyle Lowry's deal, so there's one guard out of there that you assume they don't re-sign
Right.
now. Now that I actually have a full breakdown, they have a team option on Quentin Grimes, so yeah, I would say he probably gets decent minutes if that's the case. Probably backup minutes, but
Yeah.
I agree. I think this is. I still think I like Concanippo a little bit more, even though
Yeah.
there's guys, probably not back for Philadelphia, but it's decent.
Knipple would have been 3 on my big board. The thing about VJ is he played for the Bahamas last year, and he played with like Buddy Hield and Eric Gordon. So I'm excited about this. What are your guys' thoughts on Ace Bailey dropping again? I think it's calculated because I think his team wants him to play for a team where he can be the number one guy. That's why he wants to go to Brooklyn or Washington, or what was the other one he wanted to go to? It was Brooklyn, Washington, and New Orleans.
Yeah, which New Orleans, after what they did, like, it feels like at the beginning of this offseason, it felt like New Orleans was probably going to sell some guys off, but now who did they just get? I can't remember. They traded C.J. McCollum. I can't believe I already forgot.
Who did they get back in that trade?
But it felt like, okay, they're trying to win right now.
Jordan Poole.
Yeah, they got Jordan Poole, which, I have my thoughts on Jordan Poole. So maybe it's not completely win now, but, that at least didn't feel like they're going to sell people off. So I don't know if, New Orleans, if that's what he wants. I don't know if New Orleans is the best place for that. But yeah, it felt like Ace Bailey, 1 and 2 were pretty well set in stone. It felt like 76ers isn't the place to go if that's what you want. Charlotte isn't the place to go if that's what you want. Maybe I think Utah, you could get that. So yeah, I would say he probably didn't want to go in the top of the draft, which, is fair if that's what he wanted, I guess. But yeah, I don't think he went about it the right way, probably.
I think this is going to be Trey Johnson.
This is another place where I really like Concanippo here too.
I like we could go down the list here. I like
True,
Knipple.
yeah. There's a lot of teams.
Charlotte. I like him in Utah. I like him. I mean, I actually don't like him in Washington. That would be so lame. New Orleans, that would also kind of be lame. Brooklyn would be cool. There's no way he gets past 8. I don't think there's any way he gets past 6 or 7. But
Charlotte has a team option on Trey Mann, which I assume they picked that up. Love Trey Mann. Liked him a lot in OKC. Just no room to go up for him there. They got a team option this year on Mark Williams. Probably picked that up as well.
absolutely.
Even after the whole trade debacle. Outside of that, pretty much everybody under contract for the next couple of years. Grant Williams, LaMelo Ball. We know what LaMelo Ball is. Miles Bridges, Nurkic, which is, an interesting. I think they picked him up last year at the deadline, I think. I can't remember for sure. I'm pretty sure it was. So yeah, they got good guards. Brandon Miller is still there, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. I just really like Concanippo here as a forward that fits in. Can rebound for him. I don't know the rebounding numbers. I'll try and find that real quick.
Noah says, "What's up, 812? How you feeling, dude?" Noah is a fellow member of the 812.
Shout out
from Jasper. So shout out to him. We love seeing him pop out and hanging out. No, we Listen, back in Bloomington, we got to get a beer together because it's been way too long. Um, yeah, Knippel's such a good defender, and you know, I kind of hope he gets drafted here soon because we would just keep spinning around to Con
True.
Knippel. I think he's
Yeah.
that good of a player, and not that he's that good of a not even that he's that good of a player. I just think he's that good of a fit. I mean, who doesn't? Every team in the league needs a guy that can play defense and shoot.
Yeah, I agree.
Look at this defensive-minded guard, perimeter scoring. That's what it had as the team needs for Charlotte. That's literally what we were just describing.
My computer just came unplugged. I'll have to go plug that in here in a second. Actually, Charlotte was a pretty good rebounding team last year, I think, if I'm looking at this correctly.
Probably. You had Mark Williams. You'd had Nurkic. LaMelo Ball was average. Put up triple doubles.
Where'd they go? Yeah, they were top 10 rebounding team, so don't need that as much. Sorry, I didn't deep dive Charlotte Hornets well enough. But yeah, I still like the fit there.
They got the pick in here. Like I said, I don't think this will be Ace. I think he goes to Washington. I think he's going to be 6 to Washington, if anything here. Depending on how VJ does year one, Philadelphia could be solid. I'll be interested in that. Especially after how good they were supposed to be last season. But that's neither here nor there. Charlotte, man, they've got it.
I feel like this is a big year for Charlotte.
Yeah. You got to get out of hell.
Yeah, they've been the young, fun team for the past couple of years where it's like, okay, especially with LaMelo Ball kind of coming on, we're like, okay, these guys can make some noise in the East. Gotta get to the point where you're actually making noise in the East at some point, though. And I think, this year is a pretty big year to determine what direction they go in after this. $485 million on the books right now. That's including contracts from last year, though. This is last year's numbers. So I got to look up the first apron crap and everything like that to see how close they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another team, we'll talk about them later when we get to them, but Washington, they've got so much money in cap space.
Yeah.
They've got like $100 million coming up in cap. That's going to be really interesting. $100 million, that's a lot. You can sign anyone. Now, it's Washington. No one really wants to go to Washington, I would imagine, but
sorry, I was reading the wrong thing. 151 million this coming year before signing anybody else. That's under the salary cap, just by a little bit, by about 3 million. So don't really have to do a whole lot of moving in the next couple years, really. But
there you go. That's a great pick.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Love that pick. I've got a lot of stock in Con Knippel. I've got plenty of property there on Knippel Island. Oh man, he is such a fun, exciting player. I'm really excited for that. Before we get to any further, Pacers moving up, asking for a friend. They've already moved up to 38. Ryan Nembhard, baby, come on, bring him home. Again, I'm kind of glad he went here, just so we don't have to keep talking about him all night. And I'm sure we'll still find a way to come back and talk to him. Duke Final Four team got two starters drafted in the first 4 picks. That's impressive. I like this pick a lot for Charlotte because Knippel could be anything. I mean, he's not going to be the best player on this team. He's not going to be better than LaMelo Ball. He's not going to be better than Brandon Miller. But he fits. He fits really well with this team. He's the kind of guy that I think can change. I think he can instantly make a team better.
I agree. I think, especially playing alongside LaMelo Ball and like kind of the way that they like to play. LaMelo Ball is a great facilitator, so he's going to find him. If they want to run him in pick and rolls, or if you want to run him, have him in the corner and have LaMelo kind of facilitate that way off drives and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good fit. Like we've been talking about, he would have fit almost anywhere. So yeah, it's going to help them a lot in a year, like I said, where it feels like they're going to have to start looking for some wins here sometime soon.
And I think that bring in a guy like Knipple. They won 19 games last year. I don't see why they can't instantly jump to like 30 wins, 35 wins. And, you know, you're going to have contracts and stuff to the side. So it's not like it's not like that would be way ahead of schedule. But I think if you go from 19 wins to 35 wins, 30 to 35 wins, I mean, I think you're on time. I think the timeline for Charlotte, it's kind of confusing right now. I think this Knipple pick, whereas if you go with a guy like VJ, who'd already been taken 3, if you go with a guy like Ace Bailey, who is a question mark and it's a project, you know, Con Knipple really makes your timeline, I think, a little more for certain. And I think this fixes that there in Charlotte where there was maybe a bit of confusion.
Yeah.
Utah on the board here. Now, where do they go?
Talk about confusing timelines here. I guess not really that confusing, but like I think they look back and probably regret not trading Lauri Markkanen whenever he was like a hot name and a lot of people wanted him.
Did not have a good year last year.
And now you're kind of stuck with him on that big contract that you signed him to. And you know, 28 years old, he's still young, yes, but like Utah was nowhere near where they probably expected themselves to be whenever they did sign him to that extension. So that's probably what they're looking at right now and thinking, man, we shouldn't have done that. So young guys in Utah that you don't really know what's going to come from them. Cody Williams, who, you know, didn't have a great rookie year. I think there was a lot of people who thought he might, a lot of people who thought he wouldn't. He didn't. Keontae George, who's young. Filipowski. You know, there's a lot of young, Isaiah Collier, a lot of young guys that you're kind of still waiting to see what they're going to be. I don't think there was a whole lot of flashes of excellence. So, yeah, I don't even know where Utah goes here.
I think they might. I mean, we brought up the timeline. What better timeline to go than to take the second youngest college guy coming out in Jeremiah Fears, who is I don't think he's necessarily a project. The shooting definitely needs to develop and improve, but I think Jeremiah Fears, I mean, he's going to be 3 to 4 years away from, I think, really hitting a nice stride. But I think Jeremiah Fears is going to be an interesting pick. He's not as high on my board as maybe others. I'm just kind of thinking as to where they would go here.
I don't know. I would probably stay away from him if I was Utah because of how many young guards that they already have, and you're still kind of waiting on them. And with Fears, it's like true. With Fears, like I don't know, he doesn't shoot well, and he's small as a guard. It's like I don't know.
Yeah, he's not high on my board.
Right.
I'm just kind of thinking as far as timeline. Like I could see new management being like, okay, we're okay with giving up Keontae George. We're okay with moving off of Colin Sexton. You know,
or maybe they're to the point where we don't have really an identity of what this is, and they pick Ace Bailey and be like, all right,
sure,
if bank on his high ceiling and kind of give him the keys here early. And if it works out, like you have at least something to build around now. Like, I don't know if they really have that as it stands. Like we said, Lauri Markkanen didn't have a great year last year. That was kind of your piece. I don't know if he's the guy anymore. And all your young guys haven't really shown like anything to be the guy for them. So maybe you just go that way and hope for the high ceiling to start to show early and then build around that.
I feel like a guy we haven't talked about a lot tonight, Colin Murray Boyles.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting pick here. Again, he's not as high on my board as others. I think he's the third best available right now for Jay Billis. Trey Johnson. Now they're showing him. I was literally about to talk about him. Talk about a guy I'm not high on. It's Trey Johnson. I think he's got the build for it. I think he's got the talent. I don't think he's going to translate, and I would not take Trey Johnson if I was in this position or anywhere really in the top 10, I wouldn't take Trey Johnson.
Utah knows what they want. The pick is in. Here we go. Uh-oh. Ace Bailey.
Ace Bailey. Okay.
Not sure what's going on up here.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it did kind of feel like it was going to be one of Utah or Washington, but I don't know. The thing with Washington, I'm kind of glad they didn't get him because I think they've got a lot of young guys that I really like with Washington. We'll stick with Utah for a second, though. I think if there was a good place for Ace Bailey to go, this was probably the best spot for him to land because, like I said, I just think Utah is at the point where they're like, we need a direction. That's why I thought they were probably the biggest loser of the lottery, because if they won the lottery and got Cooper Flagg immediately, you know what you're doing. You've got a roadmap. We're building around this guy. So I think this is kind of their backup plan, I guess. Probably not the second best player, but this is kind of the backup of, all right, let's go with Ace Bailey, see what he's got. If he reaches what we think he can get to, now we have our roadmap. We have something we can build around.
This is interesting. I'm just trying to read the body language here from Ace Bailey, who, again, didn't work out with any NBA teams. Utah was not on the list of 3 teams that he apparently wanted to go to. Now, I don't know how much smoke that was. I don't know how much Ace had to do with that. But Darius Bailey, Utah Jazz. I'm intrigued. Do you think if Ace was off the board, do you think they were trading out of this?
Potentially. I mean, it wouldn't have been a bad idea. It depends on what the offers would have been, obviously, but I don't know. Like I said, it is just such a weird roster. Like they obviously weren't good last year, but there's no like glaring needs, I guess, roster wise. Like they've got a mix of guards and forwards and bigs that are young that they're still kind of waiting on, but none of them are hitting yet. So like this could be like a very good team the next couple of years if a couple of these guys take some steps forward. But like I said, I feel like they were just kind of missing like an identity or like a thing that they knew where they were going. Now, not meeting with them and, not having workouts and stuff, specifically the not meeting with them part. Like, now I don't know Ace Bailey personally or anything like that. So he could very well be like a good kid and a hard worker and everything like that. I'm sure they did some digging on him, especially if they're going to pick him. But like, I'm sure they're trying to instill a culture there. If he doesn't fit the culture, I think that's a big thing in all of sports. So that's a bit of a risk that you're taking there too, along with the risk of, this is a high ceiling, low floor kind of player. But if it works out, it works out. It's a tough pick to make this high in the draft, to be banking on all these kinds of different variables. I think it'll work out personally. Like I said at the top, like I believe in Ace Bailey. I think there's some decision making things and some playing off the ball things that need to improve, but I think they can improve. And the things that he's really good at, I think, can translate well in the NBA.
I totally agree. I think he's got a really high ceiling. I just think the floor is so low and it's so risky. But if you're Utah, I guess it depends on how you look at it, as if they can take a risk or not. Or do you look at the worst team in the league and say, okay, are you okay to take a risk? I mean, we can't get any worse. You can literally only get better. Or do you look at that as, okay, you need to hit here and form a direction? I think this forms a direction, kind of like you said. Which direction that is, I don't really know. Because now I'm intrigued. I think you have to trade Lowry. I think you let him play about 20, 25 games, maybe 30, and then you deal him. And you get him out of there. You let him prove himself that he can still be a good player. I think you get him out of there. And I think now you can stick with Keontae George, who I think is a pretty good player. I might have to actually buy some property on Keontae George Island. I might actually have to invest in some stock there.
Yeah, looking at this, sorry, Utah fans, I know this probably sucks, but I think you're in a position to take a risk because, like you said, I mean, how much worse can it get? And like, you're over the salary cap, but you're nowhere near the luxury tax, so like that's not an issue. Like you're not paying big for a loser or anything like that. Obviously, yeah, I think if they have a chance where Laurie's playing really well early and people are starting, I don't know if you're ever gonna get like how hot of a commodity he was on the market previously again. But if you could get some sort of offers close to what were potentially being offered the last time, you take it and get off that contract and kind of see what these young guys become. I think that's now what you're looking at with Utah is kind of a wait and see game with these young guys and hope that some of them develop into what you need them to be.
I agree. I'm trying to forgot how to do this. I'm trying to go live on TikTok here.
Washington on the board next.
Picks in.
Picks in. Middleton picks up his player option, which everybody kind of assumed he was going to do. $33 million. Why would you not do that? Jordan Poole gone now. CJ McCollum there. I don't know if the trade's official yet, but it will happen at some point. I don't know what CJ was making. I think it was kind of a big contract. Brogdon, last year of his deal was last year. Marcus Smart's there. I didn't realize how many veteran guys they had.
Right, and then they've got so much money. They've got all the money that you could possibly want for a basketball team to have. So they could have a pretty decent offseason. Like they won, how many games did they win last season? They were the second worst team in the league, I think. 19 games I think they won. So I mean, what's going on here?
Along with those veterans, though, they've got some good young guys. Some like guys that I think are going to be very good. I like Coulibaly whenever he's coming out of the draft. I know people kind of question the pick a little bit. I kind of wanted the Thunder to take him. I don't remember where the Thunder picked.
I was pissed that year.
I think they passed on him. I can't remember. Bub Carrington showed a lot last year as well. So, yeah, along with those veterans are some young guys. Alex Sarr. I don't know what kind of year he had. Didn't really look too much into it. Wasn't really impressed from last year's draft. Probably should have looked into it. 13 points a game last year. 6.5 rebounds a game. I mean, he was really like a defensive guy coming out. That was his strength. I'm trying to find his defensive stats. Not seeing them.
Dude, why is it so hard to go live on TikTok? Here we go. Oh,
Trey Johnson.
That's a terrible pick. He is not going to be good. I'm so sorry. He is not going to be good. I don't understand why it's so hard to go. The things on TikTok that take place, and I can't even go live on TikTok. Unbelievable. Okay, so now we can't even. We got to confirm our age. I got to take a selfie with my ID. That's deadass what I have to do.
Hey, shout out TikTok, though, trying to protect the youth,
Unbelievable. Okay, I'm not really trying to be on my phone here. I'm just trying to figure this out.
Right. You're not losing an argument or anything right now.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No. I don't lose arguments.
You got it though. You got the joke right.
Some features are no longer available because of age restriction.
You did get that joke right though.
What?
You're not losing an argument.
Oh no! I got you now.
Okay, thank you.
Are you under 18 years old? No.
Not a big fan of Trey Johnson, huh?
No,
I don't really
listen.
look too much into him.
I do not like Texas guards, and it started with Marcus Carr when he was there a couple of years ago. And I don't know if it's just Rodney Terry and how he coaches. He's never seen a shot he doesn't like.
Sure.
Is kind of how I'll put it. He has never in his life seen a shot that he doesn't like. I might just go live on my own personal account for now and then figure this out. I don't like guys like that.
That's fair.
I didn't like Trae Young. Exactly. I mean, that's a pretty good point. Yep. I didn't like Trae Young a whole lot. And I thought that, but the thing with Trae Young is he would go out and he would score 40. And would he take 35 shots? Sure. Trey Johnson takes 35 shots. And
I will say decent field goal percentage for a guy that took a lot of shots. Now, obviously, this is just me looking at box score stats here, so don't take my word for it. I don't know, 6'6" guard, like that's good measurables. That's not the end-all be-all, of course. I don't know. The Wizards have drafted well the past couple of years. I might be on the other side of this as you.
That's fine.
I will say that you know a lot more about these college kids than me. I'm just kind of looking at stats here, but I don't know.
Listen, he was the SEC Freshman of the Year, so obviously he's got some ability. But just when I watch him, I'm just not crazy about him. All right, we're gonna be live on TikTok here. Let's see what happens.
So Jordan Poole's out. CJ McCollum's in. I don't know. Brogdon, they're not re-signing Brogdon. I would probably almost guarantee that one.
I think that's a candidate to go to Dallas.
Yeah. Middleton picked up his player option. I already said that. Outside of that, everybody's under contract. So I would say one of Marcus Smart or CJ McCollum's probably out as well, potentially. I don't know. I don't know how much winning the Wizards are going to try to do this year. I think they could. I think they are a candidate to be like a sleeper team where it's like, whoa, look out for Washington. But I think it's more like play-in range instead of like, solidified Eastern Conference team. As it stands right now anyway, they could be making more moves. So I think he'll have, I don't know. They kind of have a lot of guards, but he's 6'6", so like his size is good, like I said. He's obviously going to get minutes. They're young. They're going to want to develop guys. I don't know, 20 points a game, 42%. I don't know. I'm liking these numbers. I'm just liking these numbers.
And maybe he'll be good as a off the ball guard.
Yeah.
I could maybe that wouldn't surprise me. But just based on watching him in college, I'm totally out on Trae Johnson. I think it's like I also think it's a little bit of where he's drafted, like the number 6 overall pick. The intangibles are clearly there, and he's only 19 years old. So I mean, plenty of room to develop, plenty of room to grow and get better. And there's plenty of guys there with experience, like you just listed off, that they're going to be able to help him gain said experience. But I've tried selling myself on Trae Johnson. Just can't do it.
All right, we'll move on to the Pelicans here. This is a big guy. Who's your best big guy?
Kevin Malawach. 100% this is Kevin Malawach. And I love Kevin Malawach. Really been buying up that stock the last month or so. The way that he has developed in his time at Duke and just overall, he started playing basketball when he was 13. And he's just transformed and become, I think he's the best big man in this class. I can't imagine they take Derek Queen. If they're going big, which I would imagine they do, I would imagine they take a 7'2", 253-pound center from Duke that was just in the Final Four. It played alongside Cooper Flagg and Con Knippel, who have both already gone ahead of him. If they go big here, which we kind of think they
feels
will,
like they have to. Yeah.
It's got to be Malawach, and pick is in. I think that's who it's going to end up being, and that's going to be a really good pick for New Orleans. It kind of feels like whenever you get a big man, maybe that's going to bring a little what's the word I'm trying to look for here? Maybe a foundation
Sure.
for how they want to go. What are they going to do with Zion? The thing with that is I feel like you got to stretch the floor a little bit when you've got Zion, and I don't think Malawat can really do that.
Yeah.
But there's not really a ton of people in this range at that position that can. But here we go. We're about to find out. I definitely think this is Malawat, though.
Wow. Guard.
All right, not Kevin Malawat. We can save that. That kind of switches things up here. Huh. Interesting.
I mean, I don't know. Like you said, probably need guys that can space the floor a little bit. Not the best shooter here.
No.
Dejounte Murray went down last year. Obviously, didn't play really any last year for the Pelicans. Bruce Brown has a team option. I don't think anything's been determined on that. Well, that was last year, actually. Sorry, he's a free agent this coming year. So, I mean, yeah, they could probably use like a point guard. CJ McCollum's out. Jordan Poole's over there now, though. So, backup point guard maybe. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know about this one.
I am not. Listen, we talked about it a little bit earlier with Jeremiah Fears. He is a few years out from he's probably 2-3 years out from really hitting a nice stride. He's the third youngest player in this draft. He's the second youngest player coming out of college. He is 18 years old. He was a pretty good shooter his senior year of high school, and he reclassed, went to Oklahoma, and just kind of was a really streaky shooter. And he had a rough year kind of adjusting to the college game. I think it's going to be similar in the NBA. I think he's going to struggle adjusting at first, but I do think that there is a pretty solid ceiling with him. I know he's undersized. I know he's 6 foot. And when you're undersized and you can't really shoot the ball that well,
yeah. Better play defense.
Huh?
Better play defense. That's
right.
What I say.
You're going to have to do something to find your way on the floor. And so, yeah, I'm not over the moon about this. If Brooklyn would have taken him, I would have been like, okay,
Yeah.
Sure. But New Orleans, definitely thought that should have been a big man here. Does this start a fall for Malawat, though? That becomes the question. I don't think he gets past 10 with the Suns. But
yeah, I will say depth chart wise for New Orleans, they can't afford to kind of develop them a little bit here. But I don't know, like if you're wanting to win, and I think you have a roster capable, I think a playoff capable roster. If that's what you want, it felt like you should have gone big man here. Now they could like try and do something in the offseason, but I don't know. I mean, there's really no good free agent big men. I don't know who you would trade for. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know about like a development pick at what is this? Number 7. Number 7. Yeah, I don't know. That's tough for me.
Well, we've got Tiers Watch on the ESPN broadcast.
Shout out.
I don't know who this is. They're only showing the mom. Mom is bawling her eye. Is this Jeremiah Fears' mom?
Yeah, I'd assume that's who it is.
Oh, I think that might have been Jeremy Fears, his brother who goes to Michigan State, might have been sitting next to her.
Shout out.
That might be who this is. All right, listen. Get the camera off her here. No one wants to be shown crying their eyes out and their son was just drafted to the NBA. Come on, get a grip here. But yeah, that's interesting. Now, where does Brooklyn go?
I don't know. I like Brooklyn a lot. I like where they're at a lot. A lot of money they can spend. Don't know who they're going to spend it on. Who do they draft though? I don't even know. I like Cam Thomas a lot. I think he's a guy that I think can be like your guy. In terms of this, I kind of liked Ace Bailey going here too. In terms of like, okay, this is like a guy now. If he turns into that to where like we can build around, I think Cam Thomas can be that. I like a lot of his shot creation that he has. Obviously Cameron Johnson was kind of a hot target during the trade deadline and all that. I think, not saying he can't do it, but I think he's more of like a role player type, like a knockdown shooter, and that's what he is. Nick Claxton, a very good young center. D'Angelo Russell, who I don't know, I wouldn't want to bring D'Angelo Russell back. I'll just leave it at that. So a lot of young guys that I really like. I would probably go wing. That can defend. Definitely a wing that can defend. Obviously that can shoot. Kind of your prototypical NBA player nowadays. I think that's really what Brooklyn could use right now.
What if they go Kasparas Jakubonis here? I like Jakubonis a lot. Could be a bit too high for him at 8. Maybe not for me, and I don't know if Brooklyn would make a move like that. Carter Bryant is interesting here. They can really go anywhere here because I thought that they would definitely go Fears if Malawach went to New Orleans. And Brooklyn's got 4 other picks tonight, so they could literally draft an entire new starting lineup here. So that actually, now that I'm really considering that, I don't think that they go Jakubonis. They just should go best player available here, I think, and that would be probably Malawach. To me, at least.
I would agree. That's probably the best case scenario here. I don't know what comment you left off on YouTube on.
It's that one. Oh, it was Mike Nash. I don't know if he's still in here.
Shut up.
Saying still depressed. Listen, Pacers. I know. What are you gonna do, man? Listen. Oh, it's just heartbreaking. I don't even want to talk about it. I actually consistently just spam watch. I think I said this already.
Right.
Just spam watch Tyrese Halliburton getting hurt over and over again just to really feel something. Anywho. I think Nsengu is also a legitimate player here as well. I think you do go. Jay Bill is saying you don't really necessarily have to go best available here. I think you just do. You've got 4 other draft picks tonight. Maybe make the safe pick.
Right. Yeah, that's completely glazed over that. How many picks Brooklyn has tonight? Yeah, I think at some point I would probably go like a true point guard that can facilitate a little bit.
Okay. I don't hate it. Yegor Demon here. Huh. 6'9" point guard, almost 6'10". I think if I had done that, I know Kasparas Jakubonis is a bit shorter. Not necessarily the same players. We're in this out of here. Not necessarily the same type of player, but Yegor Demon kind of feels like a bit of a reach here. In fact, you probably would have been gambling getting him at 19. I don't know if he would have made it that far. But it feels like if you're going to take a guy like this, I probably would have gone Jakubonis. But Yegor Demon, I like it. I do like it.
What's his playmaking like? I think that's something that Brooklyn could use a lot, is somebody that can play make for them.
I think it's good. I think when you've got a 6'9" guy like this that can get downhill, you're going to be able to see him play like a Halliburton type of a guy where he can get both feet in the paint and he's going to be able to finish, but he can also throw it up.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Or he can
getting the highlight. I asked for it. We're getting highlights of it right now.
Sure, look at that right there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Is if they can get a big later here, maybe like a Ryan Kalkbrenner later on, that would be a lot of fun. And That would actually be really fun. I hope they do that. I don't know where Kalkbrenner's being mocked to go with a lot of these guys. He might not even be a first round pick. But I'm just throwing some things out there that they could do. They've got 4 more first round picks, so it's like I'm trying to craft the starting lineup in my head right now.
Right.
Huh. Okay. I like that. I'm intrigued by it. I didn't think that they would go that way. By the way, every player drafted right now has been 19 or younger.
Wow. A little bit of a trend here.
All freshmen and I think all freshmen in college. Which, hey, first 8 picks, all college players. I love that. Noah Nsengyu here could be the pick.
Yeah, Toronto, I don't know. I don't really know what they're doing right now. I'll just put it that way, I guess. It felt like they were like kind of loading up last year and to make a run this year, so could still be doing that, but I don't know. Now there's talks of RJ Barrett possibly on the move. You got a lot of money tied up in Ingram, Emmanuel quickly, and Barrett. Is that a big 3 that you trust, though?
No. RJ Barrett is kind of coming along a little bit. He has his flashes, but, I think he's kind of hit. I think he is who he is. I don't really know what else you can get out of him. What about Cedric Coward here? I mean, we were talking about him a little bit. I mean, I think the age is an only thing that maybe would not be attractive here for Toronto. He'll be 22 by the time the season starts. Coming from Washington State, though, had a really good year this past year. Was great at Eastern Washington as well. So I'll be I mean, it's at the point now in the draft where it's like, with the moves that have been made, it's like kind of everything you thought that you knew going into the draft. It's kind of starting to go out the window a little bit of what teams want. So maybe they go. I'm still looking Carter Bryant here. Colin Murray Boyles does feel like a fit here for Toronto, maybe. But they could really go anywhere here, and I think that's exciting.
Yeah, they could do a number of things. I mean, yeah, I would like a wing because Brandon, out of the 3, I think probably Brandon Ingram is the one that I'm most turned off of between him quickly and RJ Barrett. Especially after 2 years ago, he kind of just quit in the playoff series against Oklahoma City. That really, now look, I get it, Zion was hurt and it was a tough matchup, I suppose, but by the second game, he was tired of being guarded by Lou Dort and just really, I mean, you could just see it. He quit playing, basically. So that really did not make me a fan of Brandon Ingram. So I would say he's probably odd man out if they want to move somebody. Will somebody take him? I don't know. So yeah, like a forward, a wing that can shoot. Grady Dick had a decent year last year. I could also see him going kind of like a point guard, like another guy that can play make a little bit. So yeah, there's a number of options for Toronto here. Team that feels like, again, they kind of have sort of 2 different timelines. Mainly Brandon Ingram. I think you got to get him out of there. But you just traded for him and signed him. He signed the extension before he got traded. I believe. No, sorry. He signed it after getting traded. So you signed him to that extension, but whatever, I guess. I don't know.
I think with the point guards is the 2 point guards that were really valued around this area, Trey Johnson and Jeremiah Fears, both off the board. Yakachonis, again, is still there, but outside of that, I mean, if you're looking for Demon also off the board as well. So, I mean, if you're really looking for a ball handler, you're looking down the line, you're looking at Walter Clayton Jr., who is a great player, but I don't think he's the number 9 overall pick in the draft. Jace Richardson could be an interesting, not an interesting pick. I absolutely don't think you should do that. It would be a really bad pick if you take Jace Richardson here. But when it comes to a guy that can handle the ball a little bit and things like that. Colin Murray Boyles, my goodness. What program they're running down in South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? I saw Lenore Sellers popping out a little bit too. You know, they're running a tight ship down there in South Carolina, if you know what I'm saying. The Gamecocks doing all right. But yeah, they can go anywhere. I think a wing definitely, and Carter Bryant might very well be the pick here. Didn't play a whole lot at Arizona. Tommy Lloyd's kind of known for not playing his younger guys for whatever reason that is. He's gonna have to this coming season, but that's another conversation for another day. And that's where I'm at with Carter Bryant. Like, I don't know how I feel about Carter Bryant. I think he could be really good, but also there's not like the most out there on him just because he didn't play a whole lot, and I don't know how I'd feel about that here. Colin Murray Boyles. Okay. I think that's a safe pick.
Yeah.
Ish. You know, he's solid. He's a solid player. I actually got to watch him live when they played Indiana this past season. Honestly, he did not have a great game at all. Wasn't impressed with him. But as the season went on, you know, South Carolina didn't exactly have the year they were wanting to have, but you know, Colin Murray Boyles, I still think performed at a pretty high level.
No trades yet, which I'm a little surprised by.
I was going to ask you earlier on in the draft, like pick 5 or 6. Hey, are you surprised there hasn't been any trades yet?
I'm very surprised.
Colin Murray Boyles scored 20-plus points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of his last 6 games of the season, including 35 against Arkansas. And really good shooting numbers as well. He really turned a corner. And like against Indiana, the one game that I got to watch him live and in person, that was probably his worst game he played all season. He struggled there at the beginning of January, but after that, I mean, double figures in every game except for one, and that was on the road against Tennessee, who went to the Elite Eight this past season. Really good, the best defensive team in the entire country last season. So need to see how he adjusts to NBA defenses. But I would also like to see him. I'd like to see him develop a 3-point shot as well. I think he's a pretty good scorer, but I would like to see him. I don't think it needs like the most development in the entire world, but I want to see him shooting, 2 or 3 threes a game and be confident that, 1 or 2 of those are going to go in.
Now we get to a team that is basically starting from scratch, it feels like. Shout out to Phoenix Suns, dude.
They still have Houston here.
Well, that's
right.
They trade back in? Surely not, right? This is number 10, right?
Yeah.
I think it's probably just a mistake.
I mean, it's got to be. ESPN says Houston's on the clock, too. Or I guess we are on ESPN. Oh, that's Chloe Kitts. That's why they're running a tight program here. She plays for the women's team down there.
Oh, that's right. They do that because
the
trade's not
officially gone through. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's still Phoenix. I hate that they do that.
I just thought this was an error. Yeah, just come on. We're starting to get into Thunder territory here. Is there anyone on the board right now that you're really keeping your eye on right
now? Coward for sure that I like. I don't know. I there may be a big guy that they like as well.
There you go, Thomas Sorber.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about him. There's been some guys that weren't big fans of him either that I follow. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I'm kind of curious if they still have a guy that they like to trade up. Very intrigued what Oklahoma City does because it very much they could stay at 15, but it feels like whichever way they go, they're not going to stay at 15, either up or down or out.
I will say, Kevin Malawatch still being on the board right now for Phoenix is really huge for them, and that's an absolute win if you take him here. Don't overthink this. Just do it. Again, I think when you get a big guy in, it just really gives you a foundation for the team because, you know, it gives you an identity. If you've got a 7'2", 250-pound guy manning the middle for you, you know, and we talked about this earlier, as we talked about with New Orleans drafting Malawatch, like, you need to be able to space the floor for Zion, who is the best player there in New Orleans. That's your franchise guy. And you don't have to worry about that with Phoenix. And now you can build around, okay, let's just go get some shooters. Let's go get 3 or 4 shooters, and we're going to build around Malawatch. And so now they have Devin Booker there, of course, still. Like, I'm not saying that he's going to instantly become the best player. Who knows what's going to happen there. But it's going to be a pretty good fit here if they go Malawatch. That's who I would imagine they go with here.
Yeah, especially whenever I'm pretty sure they don't have a center on the roster currently. So,
by the way, Colin Murray-Boyle is the first 20-year-old drafted in here. The first non-freshman actually drafted.
Sorry, they do have a center on that roster. Oso
Ighodaro.
Yeah.
Marquette legend. I was a big fan of Oso at Marquette.
Well, he's in Phoenix right now.
Right. Not going to be a great NBA player, but he was fun. He was fun there. Listen, we were talking about Marquette. Cam Jones is a guy, not going to go anywhere near this range, but I would love to see Cam Jones drafted later on tonight. Maybe Brooklyn takes him later on tonight. Who knows? But I definitely want to see Cam Jones go off the board. Now we're talking about property on islands. I've got so much stock in Cam Jones. Like, if he's good, I'm going to be rich for the rest of my life probably.
Does Brooklyn need another Cam, though? I think they're good on Cams and Camerons. I think they're good.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Cam Jones just generates a lot of points, scoring and playmaking. I think he was top 5 in all of college last season. So I don't know. I was just kind of looking later on down the line, and I think they might still go. They went Igor Dimmon. That was such a fun pick. I'm really gonna like that pick, I think. And Singu's still on the board as well. That's interesting. Billis has Newell ranked awfully high, and I'm high on Newell. I don't know if I'm that high on him. There you go. I think that's a really good pick.
Yeah.
Like, you're coming out of this Kevin Durant stuff, and I think you could look back 2 years from now and be like, oh, they got Kaman Malawatch out of that trade. You know, I think they're gonna really like that moving forward, and think it gives you a nice foundation for things to happen there. I'm curious how much cap room do they have? Because I mean they're certainly going to move off Bradley Beal one way or another before the Phoenix Suns play another basketball game. So, the question is how much do they shed from that, and what else can they go do this offseason? They still have another draft pick later on tonight at 29. So they're obviously going to make a move there, but.
Yeah, they're about $100 million over the cap right now.
Okay,
so you know,
not a
good spot to be in. They are within the second apron as well. Now this is
double whammy.
Now this is still with Kevin Durant on the roster. This hasn't updated, so this still has Kevin
Okay.
Durant on the roster.
And
This is
you're gonna
before the
deal-
trade, but they still got back 54 million, so pretty much the same contract. So I
Yeah.
would say they're probably still within the second apron or close to it. The big thing for Phoenix this offseason is getting away from Bradley Beal. A lot easier said than done, though.
See, I hate to cut you off. Putting him in a Houston Rockets hat though, that's silly.
I agree. No, yeah, this is a big problem
silly.
within the NBA draft community. Like, everybody knows the trade happened. I know it's not official yet, but and it's happened for years. Like, Sabonis getting drafted to Oklahoma City, but the trade wasn't official, so he had the Orlando hat on. I mean, we can go down the list.
Sure.
Shea in a Hornets hat.
Yep.
Kobe in a Hornets hat. Now, look, I
Sure.
get trades that happen like right before the
Right.
pick. I understand that, but yeah, like stuff like this.
I mean, look at this. Look at this athleticism. Look, I love Kaman Malawach. I love Jalen Green. I could be watching some Phoenix Suns games this year. I could be intrigued.
We're talking about Hornets. We're talking about Mark Williams. He just got traded.
Who?
The Suns, and the Hornets get number 29 and a 29 first rounder. So Phoenix picks up two big men here. They've got that position shored up, it looks like.
So they've got a 7-foot guy and a 7'2" guy. Are they gonna go? They're gonna go double big. Or are they gonna bring Malawach off the bench early? Listen, I like Mark Williams a lot. Huh. So Hornets get Con Knipple. I don't know if I like that trade. I think you could have gotten a bit more. I mean, shoot, you traded Mark Williams before it got rejected, and you got Dalton Connect back.
True, yeah. A couple first. I mean, you get a couple first round picks. Yeah, you get a couple first rounders. One now, one in 2029. I don't think it's a terrible return, but yeah. So now I already forgot who Charlotte picked. They got Knipple.
Knipple,
Yeah, they got Knipple. So, they got Nurkic, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I mean, they don't necessarily need a big guy currently.
Huh.
I don't know, a lineup with both of those guys out there though, like
I mean, you're going to be athletic as shit.
yeah, it's interesting. I kind of like it. I'll have to see it. I used to be very against two big lineups. Now, look, I think if you're going to run a two big lineup now, I remember the famous one, or the recent famous one anyway, that I was really against was Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
But it worked. It worked a lot better than I thought it would, mainly because Karl Anthony Towns could spread the floor and shoot from the outside. So, you're going to need one of these guys to be able to shoot from the outside for it to work, I think.
Malawach, it's not going to be him.
I don't think Mark Williams is that guy either. I'd have to look at his numbers, but I'm pretty sure he didn't play on the perimeter.
I can't imagine. No. He might have shot 0 3-pointers.
Yeah, so they may not play him together. I guess you could, but
And they're both young, too.
right. I don't know. I think that causes more problems playing them at the same time. It just, you clog up a lot, and I think spacing is uber important in today's game. So, yeah, I don't know how many double big lineups you're going to have with these two. So it's I don't know. It's a little curious. I think, look, they're going to keep Bradley Beal, obviously, so they're going to try and build a winner as best as they can. I don't think they have any interest in, like, completely rebuilding with Bradley Beal on the roster. Or, sorry, not Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. I don't know why I was saying Bradley Beal. I was looking at his name. With Devin Booker on the roster, they have I don't think they have any interest in fully rebuilding. So they're going to try and put together something here. They definitely needed center bad, so you shore up the depth chart of center. I think they're still to be like considered like a serious threat in the playoffs. You're still gonna need some depth.
Hold on a minute. Memphis trading up.
And okay, they just lost Desmond Bain. They gained.
Here we go.
Now we're getting the movement that we wanted. They gained Caldwell Pope, and who else did they get in that trade? Cole Anthony, right?
Yes, Anthony Black was the one that stayed.
So Memphis. Now I gotta get Memphis up. Wasn't prepared for this.
So, okay, well, never mind. I just saw who they pick here, but
all right, Memphis. I think you need a guard that can shoot, especially after losing Desmond Bane.
Here we go. Breaking.
Oh, so he was.
And he is going to Memphis.
Right. So he just announced the trade for the pick that already happened? That just happened? Okay. That's an odd way to go about that. I would probably announce those before we announce the pick.
Right.
But, you know.
And then get the kid a nice hat.
Yeah, neither here nor there.
Unbelievable.
All right. So one of my Thunder guys off the board. But I think I like this a lot for Memphis.
Listen, Matt Norlander, a writer for CBS, wrote an amazing piece about Cedric Coward and kind of his story. And I mean, seriously, like one of the best stories. Like you're not going to find another story like it. And we talked about this earlier. I don't know if we talked about this in the stream, but literally an unknown. Like actually, he played at he had 2 offers out of high school, Division III. He was like the 5th or 6th best player on the team there. His coach, who was there, or his coach, I don't remember how he ended up going there, but he ends up at Eastern Washington, and then Eastern Washington's head coach gets hired at Washington State, and so he went there, and this is awesome. This is so awesome. I'm a Cedric Coward fan forever now because of that. Like, just an unbelievable story, and I like the Wazoo guys as well. So, I hate to hog the mic here or a whole bunch, but the only thing with him is his age. But I honestly think this is a better Desmond Bane. Like, I honestly think that.
Yeah, I'll say. Look, I think I'm not gonna. I was already out of Memphis. I'm not gonna, buy stock back into him right now, but I think this is a really good move. Again, I think there's bigger question marks for them right now, but after it looked like there was a potential for them to, I don't want to say like fully rebuild, but maybe move off some like key guys. This is a good like reload here off the Desmond Bane trade. I think they're still going to be pretty good. They're going to be a playoff team again in the West for sure. I still don't think they're at a contender yet. Mainly the Ja Morant piece is what gets me. So, but look, I think what they're doing right now around everything else, around this big question mark, everything they're doing around that big question mark, for me, the question mark for me anyway, has been really good. And I actually like this a lot.
No, I do too. I think like it depends on how he comes back from shoulder surgery, but from his shoulder injury. I actually don't know if he got surgery on that or not, but yeah, the way that he was playing before his injury was out of this world. They just show the graphic. I honestly forgot he was committed to Duke before Washington State. Then he entered the draft and went through all that and ended up going to Wazoo. But yeah, I'll say this: if he comes back 100% from that shoulder injury, I like this team better with Cedric Coward on it than I do Desmond Bane. Honestly, like I'm pretty high on Cedric Coward, and honestly, I've only become high like really since I started looking into him like deeply, like over the last like week, because I didn't really know a whole lot about him, and I was paying attention to some other guys a little bit more, but this is a fun pick, and I'm pretty excited by this. I'm pretty excited by this a lot.
Well, and just one last piece to this too. John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. are both extension eligible. This is the last year of Jaren Jackson Jr.'s contract, so you're probably going to want to get something done there. You're $42 million over the cap, so you get, if you think he's a better version than Desmond Bane, but he's also a cheaper version, so that helps within your team building as well. So yeah, I think this is just all around like a great pick for Memphis.
Yeah, and it's at the expense of you, and your Oklahoma City Thunder.
True.
But yeah, this is a solid pick, and I didn't think he was ever going to make it to 15 with Oklahoma City. And if Oklahoma City could have gotten him at 15, that'd have been probably like one of the steals of the draft. Right now, my steal of the draft might be Malawach at 10. I don't know. It's early yet. It depends on how far Insengu's going to fall. Yeah, I don't know here. I don't know. Now, I mean, I'm just, when I say I don't know, I'm talking about the Bulls. Feels like they might go wing here as well.
Just some housekeeping on the Hornets trade and Phoenix. The 29 first rounder that that Phoenix sent to Charlotte is the least favorable of Cleveland, Utah, and Minnesota. And it's protected 1 through 5. So a little bit of restrictions on the pick. Yeah, not a big fan of the return now for Mark Williams, especially like you said, after what you saw you got from the Lakers, or almost got from the Lakers last year.
Because it was him that didn't pass the physical side?
Right, yeah, he didn't pass the physicals, and then the Lakers
the
made the decision to, which I think was so dumb. Even if he wasn't, I mean, maybe there was something there that they really didn't like in the physical in terms of, I know he had a back issue, which can be tricky. But I mean, we saw how desperately they needed a big man in the playoffs. Now they're still going to address that in the offseason, obviously. But again, yeah, it's the Lakers, but I don't know how good the big man market is this offseason.
Yeah, where does Charlotte go now? I mean, like, obviously you're not trying to win now, but I was really starting to like the lineup that was being put together when you insert Concaniple there. I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't know about this at all, Rafe. I don't know if I don't like this.
Yeah, I think
Let's take a look.
I think Mark Williams, he wasn't like a great like athletic lob threat, but he still was, and that's one of the reasons the Lakers liked him at the trade deadline last year, because Luka plays well with guys like that, and he can set them up well. And I think that's a plus in LaMelo Ball's game too, where he can be a very good facilitator and he can play with like an athletic big. You take that away, Nurkic is there, but that's not really his archetype. So, yeah, I think you're in the market now for like an athletic type big. Who do you go get though? I don't know. What picks do they have left? Anybody know?
They got 29.
29. Okay. So,
I mean, you're going to have to trade up if you want to get a guy like Derek Queen or Asa Newell. Joan Behringer, I admittedly don't know a whole lot about him. Danny Wolf, Maxine Reynaud, I don't know. You're going to have to make a trade up if you want to get a center now, or maybe they're just looking to next year. I don't know. Hot take. It's going to be Jace Richardson. I don't know why. I just got a gut feeling. Okay. There you go. So, listen, he's a good player. Oh no, he doesn't like it. I wonder who he wanted. Because, like, who do you want here? I mean, Jokic Jonas, I think, is still, I mean, he's still on the board. I think he's going to be a really good player. Plays video games and watches anime in free time. I'm out.
Shout out. Yeah, I would say, Josh Giddey's restricted free agent this year. I would say they match whatever offer he gets and bring him back. New Orleans just traded up to 13. with the Hawks.
New Orleans to 13.
Yes.
Who did they took 7? Who did they take? They took wasn't Fears. Did they take Fears?
Yeah, they did.
They did take
They
Fears.
did.
This could be Derek Queen. This could be the big, and then
Yeah,
they have a
still need-
really good draft.
Still need a
This is
big, yeah.
Derek Queen.
I agree. Back to the Bulls real quick. Yeah, I think this is fine. Whatever you think of, Essengay and yeah. They don't need guard. Center. The Bulls are just so weird to me
Yeah,
because
they're committed to the bit of just being a play-in team every
Yeah,
year, and this
and
pick really kind of like I don't know. That's what
I think it
feels
fits
like.
that.
Yeah.
It fits that motto. So yeah, he could be something, but yeah, just never willing to hit the rebuild button when they probably should. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm just still not moved by Chicago whatsoever.
No, I'm not either. And I don't know when I will be. Listen, did you have a return?
I didn't see, no. Wow.
Okay.
That other first round pick is a decent pick
Yeah.
too, because it could be, it could fall a little bit, but you'll get the best of the two.
I like New Orleans trying to go out and win, though.
I agree. Look, I think they can. I know they
I
were
agree.
they were in the playoffs 2 years ago, got swept by the Thunder. Zion was hurt for that series. Not saying that would have changed anything. They probably grabbed like a game or two in that series if Zion's healthy, maybe. But yeah, with Murray there, again, Jordan Poole. I have my thoughts on Jordan Poole, but he's there now after the trade. Big fan of Herb Jones.
Yeah. Trey Murphy.
Big fan of Trey Murphy too. So I think, look, this is a decent roster, and depending on what they do here, I still think they definitely need big man. There could be something brewing here in New Orleans.
I'm thinking if you're gonna, now I don't know if they're trying to move up here and they're trying to make a pick here. This is gonna be a fun team. I think Derek Queen fits perfect with this team. When you have a guy like Zion and Derek Queen, you're just gonna be super athletic. I think you're gonna out rebound a lot of teams.
Yeah.
So that would be a fun pick. That's who I want to see them take. Okay, but what if they do you still think they're in a mode of where they're going to trade Trey Murphy and Herb Jones and guys like that?
That's what I was saying. Like, it felt like that's the direction they were going beginning of the offseason, but then the move to get Jordan Poole, that kind of, to me, signified, no, we're going to try and win here. We like what we have. And I think that's a fair, assessment of the roster. Again, kind of like the Joel Embiid conversation, a lot of it hinges on Zion being healthy and him being a good number one option. And that's kind of been a lot to ask of him. When he's been on the floor and he's been healthy, he's been pretty much what, a lot of. Now look, he got a lot of hype coming out of college and a lot. I fell into that trap a little bit of thinking, this guy could be a LeBron type. Obviously that has nowhere near played out to that expectation, but whenever he was healthy, he played very well. So that's what a lot of this hinges on, and again, that's asking a lot based on his history.
And the same with DeJounte Murray. I mean, if this team can get healthy and you go and you get a guy like Derek Queen here, I'm not crazy about Carter Bryant. I think that's a potential selection here. Asa Newell would be interesting here. Again, I'm gonna keep saying Jakob Jonas. I don't really know if that's who they'll go here, but I want to see this be Derek Queen. That would be the most fun, I think. What do we got going on here?
I'm not sure. NBA Pioneers. I wasn't really listening.
No, me either. Okay.
There we go. First
Congratulations.
black players in the NBA 75 years ago.
Congratulations.
Uh,
I will say I don't like Carter Bryant here, by the way. I would like to say that as he walks out to the podium. Or is he? I thought he was walking out to the podium. Apparently not. Let's get the picks in, guys. Come on.
yeah, come on. They already picked.
Like we've been here for we've been here for almost 2 hours and we're not even halfway through. Like let's do the damn thing.
Shout out the Big O.
Sure. Here we go. I like this pick. I think this is fun. New Orleans is going to be a fun team next year as far as like interesting wise.
Yeah, before that pick was announced, I was just about to say, kind of what we've been saying. Like, if they can stay healthy, at least for the majority of the season, and again, a lot of that hinges on Zion and him staying healthy. Yeah, I think they can figure something out and be like stay out of the play-in range for sure. Now the West is going to be tough, but like a number 6, number 5, maybe even if they if we're pushing it. Seed in the West, I think that's realistic for them.
Like again, it hinges on health,
Right.
which has kind of been proven. First Maryland freshman drafted in the first round in the modern draft era. This was almost a Hoosier, by the way. Him and Liam McNeely both, who might be going on later in the evening. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is going to be a fun team. I'm actually kind of excited for this team to see him and Zion play together with Jordan Poole as well. Dude.
Jordan Poole is the wild card in all
Yes.
of this, where it's like, okay, because look, yeah, he has good games. He's kind of there's a few guys in the NBA like this where like Michael Porter Jr. There's another one. His name's not coming to me right now. Where like they're gonna shoot a lot of shots, and there's gonna be times where they get hot and they make a lot and they win games for you. But there's also gonna be times, and probably more times than when they get hot, where they miss a lot, and it's like, okay, what are we doing here? Jordan Poole's the worst of them all. So I think if I were them, I would honestly try and move him, but I don't know. They just may like him, and that's why they did this. Looking at New Orleans fully healthy now, I would put Oklahoma City ahead of them. I would put Dallas and Houston ahead of them. San Antonio ahead of them. God, I forget how deep the West is, man. The Clippers, if they're healthy, I think they're ahead of them. The Lakers, it's iffy. We'll see what they do. If they get a big man, I think the Lakers are ahead of them. So 5 was probably a little ambitious from me. Timberwolves ahead of them. God, the West is deep, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
So, I respect them seemingly trying to go and win right now. And I think they can, like I said, if they put it together and they stay healthy, they can be a fun team in the West. So maybe they are still kind of relegated to play-in area just because of how good the West is, though. Like, they could still have a good year and be like, wow, we could be looking at another scenario where the bottom teams in the West had decent records.
I'm also a big Yves Missi fan as well. I would like to have that on the record. Thought he had a pretty solid year this past season in his rookie year out of Baylor. So I mean, do you want to have him running big? I mean, kind of similar players, maybe Yves Missi and Derek Queen. Someone's gonna have to come off the bench here, unless in a world you want to trade Trey Murphy and move Zion to the 3.
I mean, at the very least, they needed center depth. So, I could see a world where Derek Queen is the starter. Maybe he has to play his way there, but I think they needed depth there either way. Yeah. Even if you were picking a guy that you weren't projecting to start for you, I think it's a good pick.
No, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Spurs are back.
It's in. They didn't trade either of these picks. Does that surprise you? Oh, hold on. Let's get the pick here first.
I'm not trading number 2 doesn't surprise me. I
Right.
think you could have maybe done something with 14, but I'm totally cool with them sticking to.
I don't like it.
Wing, maybe something for you to replace Sohan. He's a restricted free agent next year. I assume they probably don't re-sign him. I don't know. I don't know much about him. I'm leaving that to you.
Just didn't play much, and honestly, in the time he did play, like I wasn't impressed with him. I was not impressed with him in the tournament this past year. They played. Let me take a look here. I forget who they played. They played Duke. Now, granted, it was a Final Four team with 3 guys that went in the top 10, so whatever. But he didn't play very good then. Has solid first round. I guess it was against Akron, though. I mean, he hasn't scored double digits, and he scored double digits against Iowa State on January 27th, and then from there it was just not great. Again, this is a project. This is 100% a project. This is 100% a. I mean, he's probably 3-4 years away from being something, or even being able to have like a full read on him. I think his jump shot from beyond the arc can definitely develop, and he can become a reliable player. But I'm gonna be intrigued as to how he pans out. But I don't know if I'm crazy about this pick. I don't know. I mean, just kind of looking here. And I guess, there really weren't any other wings that you're going to take over him. She wanted to go Will Riley, who is, I think he's a bit taller. Yeah, he's just a little bit taller, and so I don't know. I am not crazy. I'm not like excited about this pick like I was with the last kind of couple picks.
Yeah, I suppose you have like time with this. I mean, obviously you have time for like project picks and stuff like that. I don't know. It's kind of funny. They only have, not counting these 2 draft picks, they only have 10 guys on the roster currently. So
For Spurs?
yeah. So they need now. I would assume. I mean, Dylan Harper will be back. He's technically not on the roster because he has a rookie option, I believe it is. So 11. And they have a couple of restricted free agents. So I mean, they're not gonna have a problem filling that roster up. But I think, even though it is a project pick, I think it would do them well if he turns out, at least shows something this season again with Sohan. As he could be traded this year, I don't know, but if not, he's a restricted free agent next year, and I don't know. I don't see them re-signing him, depending on the price, I guess.
Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna get Kasper Siakachonis.
Yeah, it feels like they're gonna probably stick and pick, which I'm fine with. That opens up other questions because we don't have a roster spot open right now. I have a couple of ideas of who goes if they do pick somebody here, though.
Who goes?
I would say Ousmane Dieng is probably the number 1 on that list. They have team options on Isaiah Joe and Jalen Williams, the big. Now, I know Jalen Williams doesn't play a whole lot, but I like him a lot.
I mean, he's a team guy.
Yeah, he feels just like a glue guy, and like, but those are the only. Well, where'd Isaiah Joe go? Never mind, they don't have an option on Isaiah Joe. It's AJ Mitchell, but they're picking that up for sure.
So is Isaiah Joe a free agent?
No, he's under contract through He has a what is this? He has a team option in 27-28, so he's still got a couple of years left.
Check and see if this pick's been traded. Maybe.
I was looking. I haven't seen anything yet.
I don't know. I think Jakob Jonas is really, really good, but it's like if you're the Thunder, like where do you even play him?
Right. That's going to be the big issue really for anybody drafted here.
I guess they didn't really have a backup ball handler.
That's the thing. Now,
But Jakob Jonas isn't that. I mean, he could go Richardson, I guess. If you want a ball handler, I think you got to trade this, honestly.
that's one of the big needs for me with Oklahoma City as a ball handler. The thing with that though was it was looking like AJ Mitchell was going to fill into that role really nicely. He got hurt. I think he broke his toe or something like that. It was something with his foot. I think it was his toe. Missed a lot of the regular season. Wasn't back until he missed the first couple rounds of the playoffs. Wasn't back. He came back in the playoffs. Surprised he played as much as he did, honestly. So I still think I'm a big AJ Mitchell believer. I think he is going to be really good at the very least, like a good starting point guard. Will that be with Oklahoma City? I don't know, but I think you have something there as a backup ball handler with AJ Mitchell. Outside of that, I think the shooting numbers with Oklahoma City were very weird because they shot extremely well through the regular season, and then in the playoffs they could not hit anything. Really, all playoffs, but specifically on the road. So but if you do like draft somebody who you draft a specialty shooter, how much playing time do they really get on this team?
Right.
Now, the fun thing to think about, I guess, is they're probably going to pick here, and whoever they pick is going to be for in, a couple years whenever you have to extend or probably not extend, but you don't extend maybe Isaiah Hartenstein. He has a team option next year.
Asa Newell then I think becomes a possibility then.
So I think whatever this is going to be something for in the next couple of years whenever you need a cheaper option for somebody who's going to be looking to get paid, which is kind of the nature of the beast now.
I guess I wouldn't hate Sorber here just because it's the Thunder and they just won the championship, so it's like, it's tough to insert anyone. Like, it's tough to say that it's tough for anyone to be inserted here and, like, not kind of believe in them because they're going to have time to develop and become a good player. And, like, if they do go Thomas Sorber, they're going to at least have probably one season where they can just sit and develop.
Right.
So
just spoiled the pick for myself. Knew I shouldn't get on Twitter, but
hey, don't spoil it for me, though, because I'm truly intrigued here. Okay, so I mean, he's gonna have time to develop. I'm not down on him.
Sure.
I'm not completely out on Thomas Sorber, but I mean, I honestly like Asa Newell better. And no, he's not younger actually. I don't know why I thought he was younger. Yeah, whatever. Kind of like
Yeah, I will say big man was kind of the way I was leaning in this draft because whenever you look at guys that are probably gone from this roster in the next couple of years, I think Hartenstein's probably high on that list just because of how much he's making.
Right.
And if this does work out or if this is a guy that you feel comfortable with either playing as a backup big or playing out there alongside Chet, then yeah, that's an easy decision for you to make. So yeah, a big man felt kind of the way this was going to go, especially after some of the other guys that if they weren't going to go big man felt like would make sense for them are gone. I'm fine with this.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with this pick at all. I don't dislike it. I'm not like over the moon loving it type of a deal. But I like it. I like this pick. I just talked myself into it a little bit, I think. Solid defender, pretty athletic, can score. Yeah, I think this is your Hartenstein replacement.
So now to me, because I don't know if you're shedding two guys from this roster, especially right after winning. I mean, and then the next first round pick feels like it's for sure getting traded. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
You think the second one gets traded?
I feel like it has to. I'm not sure how many second rounders they have. I should probably know this. I feel like maybe they don't have any. Oh, they got one. A guy that gets blocks and steals. That sounds like a Thunder to me.
Yeah, no, he's a solid defender. He's a good ball player. It sucks. I would have rather have seen him elsewhere other than Georgetown because, like, how many Georgetown games did I watch last season?
Sure.
Not a whole lot. Not the biggest Ed Cooley guy myself, but that's neither here nor there. Oh no. Yeah, this is a good pick. So Memphis has this pick, or is this Portland?
What pick is this?
16.
16. I don't think they do. Yeah, number 6.
This one went to Portland.
Yeah, this is Portland's pick here.
Okay. They were mocked Jakub Jonas, and they can still get him here and pick up an extra first rounder. I just want him to get picked so I don't have to keep saying him and just sound like an idiot. But this feels like it's going to be a pretty nice deal, and he's fallen outside of the lottery officially. Other guys that were projected, he's the only one I think that was projected on this mock draft that I'm looking here from Tankathon. He's the only guy here who was projected in the lottery that did not get picked in the lottery. So that's interesting. That is interesting. Igor Dimin was the guy that was kind of the lottery pick stealer. Okay.
Well, Portland's going to play some defense this year. They're going to be like pretty good defensively.
Yeah, I was going to say they've got a good defense. So yeah, and now you're inserting Drew Holiday into that defense that was already probably top 5 in the league.
Yep.
Last season. And now you've got Drew Holiday there, who is a really good defender. Now I think he's like 37, so he's getting there, you know. But yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued there. As far as defense goes, I'm not really intrigued with Portland overall. They're kind of another team that I don't really think has a direction right now.
A little bit, yeah. Not a big Ayton guy. Got to get away from that. Last year of his deal this year. Love Jeremy Grant. Always been a big Jeremy Grant fan. Scoot, a lot of people sold his stock after his rookie year, but he showed improvements last year. It's still not necessarily, I think, where a lot of people thought he was going to be. But again, I think that trade, it feels like Portland is all in on Scoot and are happy with the way things are going. Klingon, who played well last year, played very good defensively. Outside of that, though, yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm definitely there with you. I think Portland's intriguing. They're, at best, a play-in team.
Yeah, I don't know. I could be way off base here, but it feels like there's going to be like some weird, like fun battles for play-in spots in the West. New Orleans,
I think you're right.
Portland,
Memphis.
Yeah, Memphis,
if you want to
potentially.
have them there, but I think they're a bit better than play-in.
I think they're better, especially if they stay healthy. But it's going to have to be somebody because I would say your for sure shoe-ins, Oklahoma City, Denver, Minnesota, LA, both LAs, Houston,
6,
Dallas. So like somebody's gonna get left off, and I think there's going to be some that are a tier above these other teams, but yeah, like for the last one or two spots, like I think there's going to be like some fun. San Antonio, who is probably going to be pretty good this coming year as well, with Wemby back. Like, I don't know, man.
The play-in
I
Clippers.
thought the East was going to be fun. Dude, both of these conferences are going to be so much fun, I think.
So you're telling me the NBA is going to be fun next year?
As it was this year, yeah,
More
I think
fun
so.
than it was this year?
I think so.
I think you're right. Spacing combo big. Listen, Asa Newell, look, he can shoot the three. All right, I don't know. Let me get his actual percentage up here. But Asa Newell can shoot the three, and I saw it firsthand. No, he can't shoot the three. Okay, I take it back. Oh, he went 0 for 2 against Notre Dame for 3. I must be thinking of Silas Demery then. In fact, I think that is who I'm thinking of. But I mean, maybe this isn't Newell then. He's willing to shoot the 3, so I mean, take that as you will. Yeah, I think this is. I mean, Jakob Jonas. I'll keep hammering it home. I think Jakob Jonas is going to be the steal of the draft at this point. He's already fallen a lot further than I thought he was going to. We're here at 16, and it kind of feels like, what if Washington gets him at 18? Watch out. They went Trey Johnson, though, didn't they? Trey Johnson, dude.
Okay. Shout out. This is Portland, by the way, but shout out. Shout out China, dude.
What?
Is this the next Yao Ming?
Look at this guy. He's shredded.
Hey, he's shredded.
19, 7'2".
7. Okay.
Let's look at the international stats here. This is average 16 points a game, 10.5 rebounds this past season.
Shoot any? Like from outside?
No. He averaged 1 of 10 per game.
All right. That would have been really fun if he was like,
right.
I mean, he probably would have been like high level prospect if he was shooting a little bit from the outside. But yeah, I don't know much about a lot of the prospects, but I really don't know anything about this guy.
Okay. Hansen Young.
Shout out, dude. Okay, well, there's your DeAndre Ayton replacement.
Right. Who the is Tingus Pingus?
Yeah, you never know, dude. This guy could. Let me see some highlights here. He can. He can dunk. I almost. Never mind. Okay. A little bit of playmaking chops, a little bit of passing chops here. Obviously protecting the rim. I mean, look.
All right, I love him.
Look, I can fall in love with anybody watching highlights for sure.
They're called highlights for a reason.
Right. I didn't know he had the passing bag in him. It looks like he has a bit of a passing bag, which is fun.
It looked a little slow.
Right. He did look a bit slow.
I don't care. It looks nice.
I will say also, just from watching Isaiah Hartenstein do it a lot through the regular season playoffs, staring down a pass like that one
exactly,
that he did,
that's what I'm saying.
probably won't work a whole lot, but there is some passing chops there.
Good for young Hansen. Good for him. So early on here, depending on who that pick is, and is that say 2028 or 2026? I thought it was 2026.
That is 28.
So far, I'm liking Memphis a lot here. I don't think Orlando's going to be bad in 2028.
The 2026 first round was in the New Orleans Atlanta trade.
Okay.
The Derek Queen pick.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. I like this trade a lot for Memphis. Young Hansen. Okay.
Shout out, man. Hey, I'll tell you one thing. I'm excited for summer league.
Yeah.
I'm already doing this to myself.
Yeah.
I love summer league basketball, dude.
I
I know.
it's more fun than spring training.
Absolutely, it is.
It's definitely more fun than the preseason for the NFL. Wow. Okay.
T-Wolves on the clock. All right, this is fun.
That's like the first shocking pick.
Right.
Like Igor Demon was kind of like, okay, okay. But that was like, whoa. Whoa.
Maybe Julius Randle does the Timberwolves a favor and doesn't take his player option. Wait, I think that's the end of this year. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how to read this chart.
I don't know. I like Randall, and I had a lot of debates. I forced them myself actually. They really shouldn't be debates. They're silly, but I just don't know if you can win with Julius Randle on your team. I feel the same way about Cat. Okay. So I completely butchered his name earlier.
Berange.
Well, now
that's two different. Yeah, that's two different
ways
things.
here.
We've got a run of international players.
He didn't start playing basketball till after COVID.
He must be good then. He must be good if he's the what pick? Already lost again.
17.
Yeah, 17th pick of the draft.
Huh. This got to be the first player drafted in NBA history that started playing basketball after Off the Tracks was created.
It might be.
Unbelievable.
We'll have to look into that.
He averaged 5.4 points a game and less than 5 rebounds.
I like the defense though. Again, these are just highlights, but
He almost just hit his head on the backboard. He almost did it again.
yeah, I feel like at least defensively, it seems like he's going to be okay. Moving on from Rudy Gobert? Question mark.
Maybe not this year, but maybe eventually. When's his contract up?
I mean, he's got a player option in 27-28, so
They could say.
Look, they've got some. They're going to have to make a decision on somebody. I don't think Rudy Gobert was on the list. Now, yeah, I don't think it's this year. I don't think you can just go ahead and move on from somebody just based off a pick, especially a guy that just started playing basketball
4 years ago.
So, but yeah, maybe this is because Rudy didn't play Western Conference Finals. Rudy Gobert kind of got played off the floor. There was one good game that he had. I think it was the game 3 or whatever the blowout was. So that may have. The playoffs are always a time for teams to recognize problems and fix them. Again, not saying that's what this is completely, but it just depends on what this guy's offensive chops are, because that was the big issue, was Rudy Gobert's offense in that playoff series.
I think you're kind of just
if it's just
the same thing.
Yeah, if it's a cut and copy and paste, which, like you said, it kind of feels like it is, then maybe it's not necessarily a Gobert replacement. Maybe it's a Naz Reid replacement, who, again, not a guy you want to get rid of, but somebody's going to have to go. It feels like with the money situation, one of Naz Reid, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, or Julius Randle. So
we're getting into Pacers to trade up here for Jonas territory for me, personally. We're not there yet. Now, Miami, I wonder how set they were on Walter Clayton Jr. Because it's going to be a tough sell to pick him over Jonas for me, personally. I must say. Behringer off the board. Okay. Or How'd you say it? Baron J?
Yeah, I think that's how Malika said it.
Okay. I trust Malika.
I trust her as well. Washington's back. They picked who'd they
Trey
pick?
Johnson.
That's right.
The savior of Washington basketball, Trey Johnson.
I think it fit in nicely.
Well, what is the fit there, you know?
So I don't know. Where do you go now?
Asa Newell, maybe. Danny Wolf would be kind of interesting here.
Danny Wolf would be fun.
And I think he's the kind of guy, you know, 21 years old. So I think he would be able to play pretty quick here in Washington, maybe. Or at least get like decent playing time.
I do think a big would be nice here for Washington.
Yeah.
And there's kind of been a run on centers, so
Especially with Alex Sarr there and you get someone to pair next to him.
yeah. So they may feel like they got to go there now. I don't know.
I'm intrigued by some of these picks here. I'm be keeping my eye, I guess, on Young Hansen.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Too much time being wasted here. Let's get the picks
Surely.
in. Let's announce them.
I'm getting hungry.
Chris just said, someone let me know when Trey Galloway gets paid. You got it, man.
Shut up.
All right, let's see what's going on here. It's getting a little too quiet here. So Charlotte's also acquiring Vasilije Micic
Really?
in the trade.
They just traded him away.
Right. In the Yusuf Nurkic trade.
I think Micic is okay. I think he has a chance to be like a nice facilitating point guard. But
Damn, it's July 10th? I didn't realize it started that quick. Summer League.
yeah, we're jumping right into it. I wish they'd jump into these picks a little quicker.
Okay, dude.
Especially at this point.
Some of us have work tomorrow.
Okay.
Yakachonis, it's time.
So Utah's back in.
A shooter. Liam McNeely, maybe? Will Riley would be kind of fun. I'm going to predict this is Will Riley. That's my prediction. Oh, they said Walter Clayton. Walter Clayton doesn't make it to Miami? I would not like that, by the way, if Walter Clayton goes here. Actually, I don't know. I do like Walter Clayton. I just don't know if I would like him in Washington.
Right. Great shot maker, which if that's what they're wanting. And maybe another guy that could develop into like a guy where you're like, all right, maybe we can build around him a little bit. That's a lot of young guards where you're going to be waiting on them to turn into something, though.
Sure.
But better than none, I guess.
I got some football highlights going on here. Offers from, does that say Notre Dame? I think it did.
That's it.
Had an offer from Notre Dame to go play football with the Irish. Oh, he was a safety? I mean, he would have thrived at Notre Dame. Him and Xavier Watson next to each other. Come on. That Iona team was nuts. So they've got pick 18 and 40 here the rest of the way. Oh, wait, no, take that back because they just traded this. Wait, who? Oh, Utah.
Yeah, I think those are
Okay, so
Washington's needs.
I'm getting tired here. I lost my brain here. Walter Clayton to Utah. Okay. With Ace Bailey. Okay, you put Ace Bailey and Walter Clayton Jr. together on the same team, you'd have me kind of intrigued. Just based on like a watchability standpoint, just to like
see what happens.
Tune it. Yeah, just to see what happens. It'd be like it's like scientists like just mixing two things together just to like okay, well let's see what happens here.
I feel like this pick's been in for a while. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been on that, Adam. We've been on that, Adam Silver. Thank you.
Breaking. I'm a huge Young Hodson fan. We got to get him on the pod. See, like, I would have been so excited if they weren't just talking about Walter Clayton Jr. for the last 5 minutes.
Right. Like, yeah, that's what I said. They did that last year, too, where they talked up the guy that was about to get picked.
Like, if I would have been surprised by Walter Clayton Jr. getting picked, I'd have been hype. So he's going to Utah. All right, Utah's kind of fun. Utah's kind of
Utah gives up number 21 and second-round picks. Don't know how many or which ones to Washington for that pick.
So, NBA ready right now? I don't know. I mean, he might be. He's probably on the same level as Keontae George as we speak. Just an awesome year for Walter Clayton Jr. at Florida. Like, literally carried them to a national. Not carried them. That was a great team and very well coached. But his development was, I think, the biggest part of them winning a national championship last year.
Yeah.
Of becoming a consistent scorer and becoming a consistent star for that team. And look, listen, not to talk too much college, but Florida's going to be pretty good again. They returned that front court. They returned 4 members of their front court. And they got Boogie Fland and another guard that's slipping my mind right now. But, yeah, I mean, when you could shoot 39% from 3 and average 18 points per game, I mean, that's impressive. So, fun pick. I like this pick.
Yeah, there was a lot of like shot making things with Walter Clayton, especially towards the end of that run, like you said, where it was like, wow, okay. Like he felt like he played himself into like
100%
high first round draft pick talks with that run, and rightfully so, because like one game it's like, all right, you can't keep this up, but then he kept doing it game after game after game. So there was like a bit of consistency to it. You know, it's obviously going to be tougher at the next level, but if he can, you know, figure that out at the next level and be able to shoot that way, like he's gonna be just fine on whatever roster that he's on.
There's his kid, the picture that they took, and he kept telling the Florida Gator to get out of the picture. The Gator just kept trying to get out. Oh, that was awesome. That was one of my favorite moments, I think, of the entire national championship was that moment after the game. So we got Brooklyn. Wait, Brooklyn. Oh, yeah, it's we're at 19. Brooklyn also has 22 and 26 and 27. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4 of these next 9 picks, almost half of these next 9 picks are going to be Brooklyn Nets picks. There's no way they make them all, right?
I mean, maybe like
just take 5 guys and just, you know, we're throwing things at the wall. Just hope. I mean, just surely some of them's got to stick.
That would, if they don't bring anybody else back, that would get them at 15.
Give me Asa Newell here. Actually, take that back. Scratch that. Give me. You're never gonna guess who I think they should take here. I think they should take Jakob Jonas here, and then go one of Danny Wolf, Asa Newell at 22, and then Rasheer Fleming or Liam McNeely if either of them are there at 26, and then I literally don't care what you do at Cam Jones. You know what? Screw it. Go Cam Jones. I want to see him get drafted tonight.
The Brooklyn Cams, dude. Yeah, I'm for it.
Yeah. Cam with a K, though.
Okay.
Cam with a K, though.
That'll help. That'll help keep things separate, I guess.
So I was going to bring up a debate of, to my friends of who gets drafted first, Will Riley or Kaspers Giacochonis, because they both went to Illinois. And I was like, this is a stupid debate because Kaspers Giacochonis is a lottery pick, and Will Riley he's a first round pick for sure, but he's not going in the lottery. And now we're getting to very interesting conversations here. Picks in here for the Nets, so they are making this pick.
Right. One point guard, last pick. I mean, I wouldn't mind another point guard.
Oh, screw it. So they went Igor Demin, who is a 6'9" point guard. So you could go. Okay, so they're not going to go Jakob Jonas here. This could be Liam McNeely. This could definitely be Liam McNeely.
Yeah, I think point guard or like a bigger forward.
Yeah, Will Riley. We literally were just talking about him. Be interested in Rasheer Fleming here. Just would like for them to get this pick off.
Right. All I can think about is food right now, if I'm being honest.
Go get a snack after this pick. Get a little.
I'd say my dinner's probably done. It's probably getting cold.
Go get your dinner after this. Have a little snack break.
I will.
There's nothing wrong with a snack break. I had some steak and guacamole and corn.
I don't know what we're having. I'm excited for the surprise.
It's like a draft. It's like the NBA draft.
Right. My number
Except
one.
you have no pick.
My number one pick would be, I don't know, what's my favorite thing my mom makes? Probably,
Chicken.
Well, sure, but that's too easy.
Like Cooper Flag.
I love when she makes this. Like tater tots, ground beef, cheese, like casserole type deal, dude. Oh my god, it's phenomenal. She hasn't made it in a while. I might have to bring it up, but that's my first round pick. Let's see who the Brooklyn Nets picker.
I'm distracted here.
Sorry.
Trey. Okay. Probably. Again.
Another guard.
Yeah. Again. I mean, if you're going here though, I don't know, man. I don't know if people expected Walter Clayton Jr. to go that high. I don't know if they expect him to go in the teens. Maybe that's just generating which again, Brooklyn is just they could take whoever they want here. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
They've got 3 more picks.
They can miss on a couple here. They probably don't want to, but they can afford missing. Kind of like when this is just the first thing that comes to mind. Oklahoma City, they drafted Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, same draft. Actually, one went between them as well. Ousmane Dieng actually went 1 pick before Jalen Williams. So.
And I do think Jang's still pretty good.
So, yeah, they could probably afford to miss or, have – I mean –
You could miss 2 of these 5 picks, and you still have a great draft.
Yes, absolutely.
Go get your dinner.
Especially if they're really good.
Go get a little food. I'll hold down the fort.
Food.
I'll be Taylor Holton down the fort. But, yeah, it's just us, Oos. It's just us. Suns traded 2 firsts. Suns traded 2 firsts for Mark Williams and then drafted a center with the 10th pick. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing there. I don't know what either side's doing there. I am Oh, Colin Murray Boyles. Did not want to be drafted by Toronto. Oh boy, that's an interesting development. So, development hero.
It's burger night, baby.
Nothing wrong with that. Look here. Look at Colin Murray Boyle's reaction to being drafted.
Did we miss something?
Oh, hold on. He went.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe that was like a good, like a. I can't believe I just got drafted type of reaction. Maybe. We'll hold out on it. Who drafted him?
The Raptors.
Okay, fair reaction. Miami. Miami's in a world of hurt right now. I don't even know where to begin.
Let me just take a look. Let's take a deep dive on their roster while we're waiting here. Yeah, I mean, come on. It's like not like as bad as maybe I necessarily thought it was.
There's some good young guys there.
Khalil Ware, Davion Mitchell. I guess the jury's still out. No. Oh my gosh, that's Griffin, dude. Yes, we absolutely have to toss sometime. Griffin, dude, let me know. Senior year, like we've been talking. So we stayed at the same place freshman year, and he went to Orleans. Shout out, fellow Bulldog. And we were in an elevator together, and I had my glove or something. We were like, yeah, dude, we got to toss sometime. I think we actually met. No, take that back. We were at the dining hall. We were at the dining hall together. We're like, yeah, I got to toss. So every time I see him now, I'm like, dude, we got to toss sometime.
Of course, got to.
We have to toss sometime. And I only see him once or twice, like a year, but I let him know every time. So, dude, next year we absolutely have to toss. Shout out Griffin and company over there, running a great program at over there.
Over there?
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to incorporate
it's okay.
something there, and I just couldn't land on anything.
Yeah, Miami. I don't know. Forward. They got Wiggins.
Oh, Shams.
No trade.
Missing out.
Yeah,
Right.
Were they really trying?
Right.
They could have easily put together a better deal than what Houston did.
I mean, yeah, when you don't want to give up Haywood Highsmith and who else were they not wanting? Who else were they latched on to?
Jaquez, which I can kind of understand. I think there was a Khalil Ware, which I get.
I mean, the thing is like, even if you take Kevin Durant, there's still no direction. Like, you have Kevin Durant,
Right.
Sure, but like, okay, now what?
Yeah, I think if they did put any deal that they put together, but even if they did like try and put together a better deal than Houston's, like I think you're in the same spot as what Phoenix was in last year, maybe even worse.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say worse,
not
actually.
worse.
I wouldn't say
Big
worse.
Contract hell, but
Right. But you're kind of in the same spot.
who right now is surprising you the most that's still on the board?
I don't know. I'd have to look at a list.
It's definitely Jokic Jonas for me, 100%, 100%. That's really the only one that I'm like, holy smokes, how is he still here? Maybe Asa Newell, but what do they even take here? I mean, yeah, I guess maybe it's a forward, a wing here. Go Liam McNeely. I guess that's the pick. Should be. And there he goes. So I don't have to keep talking about him the rest of the
Right
night.
on cue.
Right on cue. I've been queuing that for like the last hour and a half, dude. I've been queuing that one for a while. We need to make a compilation of me calling out Kasper's Yakachonis the whole night. I knew there was going to be at least one guy. I honestly thought that it was going to be Konkanippel. I thought that he was just going to somehow keep falling to like 7
I
or
think
8.
a lot of people really liked. Yeah, like 7 and 8 maybe.
Yeah, not like falling like
right.
far, but like a few picks, and I just keep bringing him up every pick. I didn't think that I would be talking about a pick for. I mean, when did I first call that out? I think I called that out at like 8. I called it out at 8 with Brooklyn.
They just passed on him again.
What a listen, great player. All right, listen, I actually saw this at about pick 17, about 16, 17. I actually saw some property on Yakachonis Island going down. I bought some, bought a little bit more property over there. Listen, I would love for you to come over. I would love for anyone out there watching to come on over. I mean, we've got some great properties available. Got some nice beachfront houses. Things are looking great. So we've got. Is this still Utah on the clock, or did they trade? They trade this pick to whoa, who'd they even trade this to? Washington? Yeah.
What number is it?
So 21. This is Washington. I mean, honestly, I don't even know what. They went Trey Johnson. Maxine Reynaud would be fun. That's a fun player from Stanford. Got better all 4 years there, or all. Did he go 4 years? Yeah, all 4 years. Got better every year, and I think he's pretty good. He was in the conversation for Player of the Year. I mean, like it wasn't a very long conversation, but he was up there as like he was putting up big numbers. A double machine. We're getting to. I actually don't know what we're getting to here. There's still some pretty good players on the board that I think can be impacts like day one. Danny Wolf, Liam McNeely, Reynaud.
Danny Wolf. I thought he'd kind of go kind of early, honestly.
So I didn't. I thought he would be a later first round pick. I thought he would fall around towards Boston. But then I was seeing some boards today where he was like pretty high up on some people's boards, and then I'm thinking, okay.
I guess I should say high. I would say like mid, like
Sure.
13 to 16 range.
So, just looking at some picks here that I made. Again, Malawatch is going to be a Sun. A Thomas Sorber pick. I enjoy that pick. I think that's going to be fine. Just plain burger. It's just unbelievable, by the way.
I don't see an issue with it.
It's just. I can't believe Yakachonis fell that far. Hearing from my sources that Anthony Leal is starting to shoot up some draft boards here.
Isn't he trying to come back?
Yeah, I don't know if that's been shut down yet or not, but okay,
Great glue guy.
Okay. So, I don't know if you saw this tweet or not. Cooper Flagg, white American.
Number 1 pick.
Number 1 overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
What year do you think was the last time there was a white American as the number 1 overall pick in the draft?
Oh boy. I'm gonna go. I don't think it's in the 2000s.
It was an Indiana Hoosier.
Indiana, who's your number 1 overall pick?
Yeah.
White?
Yeah. American.
Who was number 1? I mean, this wasn't recent, was it? Couldn't have been.
It's not recent.
Oh, boy. I'm going to say, like, 78.
1977. Kent Benson.
Never even heard that name. I'm going to
Kent Benson?
be honest with you. Never even
Oh
heard that
my
name.
goodness. Oh my.
He was a dog?
He was the number 1 overall pick and won national championships.
What did he do in the NBA, though?
Nothing.
Okay.
You won a national championship for your favorite team.
Sure, but anything like I know Isaiah Thomas, obviously, but, like...
You should know Kent Benson. I'm honestly ashamed. And that will be brought up in conversations at the Iron Gate that you don't know who Kent Benson.
That's fine. I just,
I couldn't tell you his numbers. I couldn't tell you much about the guy.
Yeah.
I can tell you he's a national champion, and I can tell you that he played at IU. I didn't even know he was the number 1 pick, to be honest with you.
And shout out that. See, you didn't even know he's the number 1 pick.
Nope. But I saw his name, and I knew who it was.
I'm not much of a historian.
I mean, I didn't know that. I would. If
I'm
you
just
would've-
saying, like, even for my favorite teams, like, I don't even, like, probably pre whenever I was born. I'm not going to have much knowledge on, unfortunately.
I'm not good at trivia.
I'm not great at trivia either.
It's been too long since we've had a pick announced. I will say that. I'm starting to I'm starting to get a little.
Who's even on the clock right now?
It was Washington still.
Oh, still.
Still
I feel like Washington, Brooklyn, and Utah have picked 80% of this draft.
Are we frozen here?
Possibly.
Oh boy.
See what I can do.
Heads up over there. Did you hear that?
No, what happened?
He's like, well, he was talking about how Utah's winning the draft. He goes, take Ace Bailey. Didn't want to come work out with them. Don't care. All right, here we go. Finally, this is going to Washington. Yeah, we are frozen.
Yeah. It's not responding currently.
Oh, he went 1 pick before. Okay. Will Riley before Liam McNeely, sure. Are we back?
At least I'm there. It might take a second for it to show up on YouTube.
Let's try and get in the same position to make them think that we didn't even. Nope, too late.
It's throwing me off.
So Will Riley just picked. He's going to Washington. Grew from 5'9" to 6'6" during the pandemic. Now that didn't happen to me.
Yeah, unfortunately, not me either. I was hoping it would. I'm glad. I like the height that God gave me. I appreciate it, so I'm not gonna, complain too much.
What about those Achilles? You like those that he gave you?
I
shouldn't make Achilles jokes right now. Actually, it's too soon. I'm sorry.
yeah, I will say I'm glad he built them to at least last until I was done playing actual
That's
competitive
fair.
games.
That's fair.
And it wasn't like during my senior season or something, because that would have been really bad.
Dude,
That would have really sucked.
could you imagine you missed basketball and baseball your senior year?
Yeah, not cool. Not cool at all would that have been. So, anyways, where are we now?
Atlanta at 22, but didn't they trade this?
I think.
Oh wait, no.
Wasn't track.
I
of
think
all these
this was
trades.
Brooklyn. Wait, this was supposed to be Brooklyn. It says Atlanta. Was it initially Atlanta's? No, it was initially the Lakers.
This is 22.
Let's take a look here. See what's going on.
I don't know. I'm already lost with picks.
Got nothing here. Not sure.
It's proposed to who?
So Atlanta's on the graphic, but it
Right.
says that this is Brooklyn.
So that was probably a
Oh,
trade
this
that
was
happened
in the-
before.
This was literally just. Didn't this just happen? Wasn't this the pick that was involved?
I don't know, dude. Too many trades. The problem is the graphics aren't up to date for trades before the draft. So that Brooklyn thing could have been something that happened before the draft, or it could have just happened.
I think it was in the Kristaps trade, wasn't it?
Probably was.
I think this was in the Porzingis trade. We're gonna need a guitar performance in between some of these picks here. That's where we're getting
I
to.
promise it won't be any good. In case you're curious, Asia Wilson's the fastest player in WNBA history to score 5,000 points.
Indiana, there you go.
So shout out.
So many stars in the WNBA, man, and they all play for Indiana.
I'm sorry, I said Asia Wilson.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking of Aaliyah Boston.
Right. I don't think
My
she's.
brain's pretty gone here.
I don't think she's at 5,000 yet.
I've gotten
um,
like 6 hours of sleep, or less, like the last 3 or 4 nights. Love Island has had me up.
This is fun. Sorber wore 35 in college. I say keep. I say keep it.
Yeah, I did. I forgot to ask you. What do you think of Cooper Flag wearing 32?
32.
That was the jersey they had there.
It's a wild number. I think Kyrie's number 2, so you probably weren't gonna get that one.
AD is 23.
Or
Or is he 3?
I don't know.
I think AD might be number 3.
He should have took 77. Sorry.
Could you imagine?
Sorry.
What if he does? But yeah, dude, you're missing out on some Love Island. I will say.
Yeah, I just
Just don't care. That's what you should have said. That's what you should have said.
sorry, I was laughing. He might be my favorite out of the draft, dude. He might be my new favorite.
He got drafted while he was in the crowd.
Shout out, dude.
I was not. Yeah,
That's awesome.
because when he was drafted, I was like, dude, he didn't even have a table for the poor kid.
But you know what? The confidence to be like, no, I'm getting drafted. I'm gonna be there. I
They're
love that.
excited. They're excited over here in Brooklyn.
Got our guy. Got our guy.
Got our guy for the 3rd time tonight. Oh, I thought that was a trade. I have no idea. Honestly, at this point, I do have no idea. Brooklyn, give me Leah McNeely here. Give me Maxime Reynaud. Why not? Why not? Why not us? What are we thinking of Big Perk up there? I mean, what's going on with this? Why is he up there?
Big Perk looks as good as usual. Haven't really been listening to what he's been saying.
No, me either. How many college basketball games do you think he actually watched last season?
I would say probably about the same as me.
I could probably count on one hand the amount of full college basketball games that he watched beginning to end that Cooper Flag did not. Yeah, he's just saying the bare minimum, kind of like.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
Me either.
But it fits.
Dude, they don't even have. Oh wait, Oh, he's restricted free agent.
Yeah, he'll be back. They'll match. I'm sure of it.
Ain't shit funny. He is Jay. I'm not a Jay Billis fan. It's just a damn shame that guys like Bill Simmons used to be on this, and like Jay Billis, he knows a lot of ball, and he's just kind of arrogant about it too, and I don't like that. But like his big board's not that bad. But Kendrick Perkins has no business being up here. He has absolutely zero business being on this panel right now. And then Malik Andrews, who's a great host. I do enjoy Malik Andrews. Who else is even up there?
That one, I can't remember her name, but she covers a lot of college women's basketball.
Okay, well, no, all right.
She may cover men's as well. I'm not sure.
I do hope so.
That's what I see her mostly on ESPN is doing women's basketball.
Oh, North Carolina. Okay. Is he even there? Listen, what are we doing here? I mean, sure, I guess, at this point. All right, where's Cam Jones? We are getting into Cam Jones territory of I want to see him picked. Listen, I enjoy some Drake. I don't mind Drake Powell.
All I'm thinking about right now is Nikola Topic and Thomas Sorber pick and roll in the summer league.
Okay, I'm glad that you have your priorities straight over there.
Sorry,
glad all your ducks are in a row. Drake Powell, sure, why not? I don't know. Unless Igor Dimin is like the guy, which I think he can be. It just kind of feels like you're just drafting a bunch of like role players here tonight, honestly. Who else did they take?
Who?
Brooklyn. They took Igor Dimin and
Brooklyn.
Nolan Traore. So sure. Now this would be Indiana's pick. They traded it for their first round pick next year. I don't even know what they traded that for. How New Orleans got a hold of that.
Yeah, these NBA trades because the picks get traded and then they get traded to another team, and so who knows where that went.
But hey, the Pacers have it back, so maybe they're tanking next year. Who knows? They were getting AJ Dibansta. Don't want him. I would take Darren Peterson. That would be fun.
This is Atlanta on the clock here.
New Orleans.
But proposed to Atlanta, right?
Wait, when did this happen?
This was probably the.
Was this also in the Kristaps trade? Maybe.
No, this is New Orleans and Atlanta. This is the when they moved up to get Derek Queen.
Okay. Hey, Atlanta, you're welcome for Derek Queen. You wouldn't have had him without us.
Is Atlanta a player in the East right now?
Yes, I was thinking about this earlier today. They've got a good roster with Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson. You're gonna have Kristaps there. You're gonna have Derek Queen there. Wait, did Derek Queen get drafted there?
And they got off the Terrence Mann contract.
Yeah,
which was big.
I'm missing someone else. Onyeka Okongwu. Yeah, that's a solid team. I don't know if they're like a player, but they could be like a Houston from this past year, where they're like a 2 seed. And maybe they get bounced in the first round, but you wouldn't have expected them to be a 2 seed. They're going to be kind of nice, and I'll be curious to see the odds on them. Let's take a look here at FanDuel here. Let's see what their odds are to make it out of the East. This is where we're at in the NBA draft. We're looking at, anyways. Just let me look at the odds here. I'll look at my. Wait. Atlanta right now, plus 3,300
to
make it out of to win the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, they're probably not winning the East, but
no, they're not going to win the East, but
they could be a playoff team. for sure.
Hey, those of you out there that maybe think that Atlanta's pretty good. Holy smokes, I need to go to bed. We got to get through this, Adam.
Where are we at? What number?
Pick like 20. Pick 23.
Man, we're right there.
It feels like it's gotten longer.
You can see the finish. It definitely has gotten longer. You would think it gets shorter. You know, you breaking down the top guys, talking about the top guys a lot, but yeah, it does feel like it's gotten longer.
It was starting to fly there a little bit when it was getting entertaining, and we were getting the trades and stuff, and it's just been a dead period. We need a trade. We need a big trade. We trade Paul George like now.
Is the Thunder gonna pick again, dude?
I hope so.
I mean,
McNeely.
It doesn't make me nervous, but it's like, man, we're gonna have to get rid of somebody now, which sucks.
Lou Dort, goodbye.
Well, I don't mean somebody like that way. I mean more
you.
like
All right, Lou Dort. Package that with Ousmane Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Package that with probably one of your 500 first-round picks over the next decade, maybe a few, and then trade it for like
more picks.
Washington's first-round pick next year.
I would say Washington probably doesn't give up that pick next year.
Yeah, but you get Lou Dort.
True. I mean, yeah,
you get someone that can play two sports.
He'll play defense.
I mean, he'll play something. I don't know how much. I mean, I don't know how much a defense I would call it, but you know. Anyways, I mean, listen. Karis LeVert, we'll be seeing you. Larry Nance Jr., we'll be seeing. Cap space, none.
Yeah. Where they at? They're about 98 million over the cap currently. So yeah, got a few things to work on there. But I think that puts them.
Here we go. Dude, this happened an hour ago, Adam.
They're a second apron team. I may be reading this wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're a second apron team right now. After bringing in, Porzingis. No, they might be. That's kind of fun to think about, I guess.
Now they've got Ace and Newell there. Okay.
This is Atlanta, right?
Yeah. I'm watching Atlanta play. Wait.
Yeah, Atlanta might be a fun league pass team.
Derek Queen went to New Orleans.
Yeah, Dude, I am so lost.
He went to New Orleans.
Yeah.
He went to New Orleans. When you said Derek Queen to Atlanta, that didn't seem right.
Yeah, sorry.
I knew he went with a guard.
He's on the list here. I don't know why he's on this contract list. I guess because technically he got drafted there, but yeah, he is in New Orleans.
So listen,
but still, I think Atlanta's still like sneaky fun.
Yeah, this is fun. This is fun for Atlanta. This is fun for Atlanta. I like this. Thunder, are they sticking and are they picking?
It seems like they are currently. I'm not going to get on Twitter again to look for trades. Spoiled it last time. All right, so they did the center thing. If they're going to pick again, I would say probably a guard that can handle the rock. Just to have, or like I don't know if Kenrich Williams is going to like demand a lot of money in free agency, so he may be able to stick around. So maybe like you got Wiggins under contract. Who would need to be replaced? I don't know. They could go whoever they want, really, I guess, here. Whoever they feel like will be pretty.
They won the NBA championship, so yeah.
Well, yeah, but like I'm thinking like for like in a couple of years, they could just whoever they feel like will be pretty good in a couple of years.
I thought I was gonna.
I guess, which I guess everybody's doing in the draft.
What?
I said, yeah, they just got to pick somebody who like they feel like will be good in a couple of years. So
That's the reason we're here tonight.
whoever
That's the reason we're
whoever they
here
feel like
tonight.
is best fits that probably is where they go.
Um,
I'm actually surprised they picked 2 people in the
Yeah,
first
right.
round here, but I like it. Gives me something to look forward to.
Rasheer
as-
Fleming.
in the summer league, I should say.
Give it to me here. Give me Liam McNeely to Oklahoma City.
Liam McNeely, a
Should've
guy
been
that
a
I was
bigger-
supposed to be cheering for this past year,
Right.
and ended up cheering for him anyway.
And the pick is in. They are sticking and they are picking.
I like it. It's fun. It's fun. But now there's going to be roster questions. Unless there's a way, because they had some 2-way guys. I don't know what the rules are. I don't know if you can sign like a late first round to a 2-way or not. They probably wouldn't accept it. So I don't even know why I'm talking about that right now. So yeah, somebody's going to have to go, unfortunately.
What if this is Cam Jones? That would be cool. I'd like that. Well, actually, I wouldn't like that. I want him to go to a team that I can respect.
Who is like decently tall but has a crazy wingspan? That seems to be the formula for Oklahoma City.
Let's see who's left here. Let's see best available. Maxine Reynaud. That'd be cool.
Got a hair in my mouth.
Yeah, it was on your chin. I was gonna pull it, but I was like, hell with it.
Could have told me.
You were talking. Rasheer Fleming, who I was kind of talking about. That'd be cool. Ryan Kalkbrenner, kind of white boy defender.
Shams is talking. All right, so it's not OKC. Okay, Sacramento. Which this was actually reported before the draft that Sacramento was looking to get to this pick.
Okay.
I'm gonna need return here. Sorry, that's just the fan in me.
So Nick Clifford. Gosh. They're all so excited. Little do they know. See, he thinks he just got drafted to the NBA champs. Little does he know, he's going to Sacramento.
Which might be honestly the exact opposite.
Sacramento.
Man, Sacramento, what a fall from grace from however many years ago that
Hey.
was.
Light the beam. That was like 2-3 years ago, dude.
Which is wild to think about.
And that was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. The city was loving it, and it felt like it was going to be that way for at least a couple of years.
I would also like to say I am not insanely high on Nick Clifford, especially here. He's 23 years old, so
I mean, there's just not a lot on this roster that I like to begin with.
you know what? He shot 37% from three. You know what? Whatever. We'll pretend this is a good pick, even though it probably isn't.
Even if it is, though, like there's still so much Sacramento needs to do. Good start, definitely. You want to hit your picks.
I mean, it's Blazer matches. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, it's okay. I'm just not a big Zach LaVine guy.
No.
DeMar DeRozan at 36.
Domas.
Sabonis, who, look, I think he's. I've liked Sabonis ever since he was
Right.
in OKC, and he was very good in Indiana, and he had some pretty good years in Sacramento as well. But, like, as the number one guy, I just don't know if that's him anymore. Especially, I mean, he used to shoot the three, like, well, did he not?
Yeah, I was confident in him taking threes.
And now anymore, he refuses to shoot them, which I don't know. He'll shoot them sometimes, but like, it's definitely not like a first option kind of thing. Where if he's on the perimeter, nobody's guarding him. Like he's not looking to shoot first, which feels like a weird development there. So yeah, I'm not big on Sabonis as like a number one option. But he's really probably the only guy that anybody would want or have interest in, even though it is a really big contract. So I don't know. Sacramento kind of feels stuck right now.
No, they definitely are stuck. And like at the same time though, whenever DeMar and Levine, whenever they move off them, they'll also move off Sabonis. So like I feel like whenever they get to unstuck, it'll kind of all be at once, and it'll just be full rebuild, which
Right.
they should just do right now, anyways. I think honestly,
They should.
um,
And they may find some fools to get Levine and trade for DeRozan. DeRozan's probably a little bit more likely, because Levine is making a lot of money, dude. And like I said, Sabonis, you could probably find somebody too, but he's making a lot of money also. Like the most valuable asset on this team is definitely Keegan Murray. Without
Sure.
looking at draft picks,
and if you're gonna blow it up, I mean,
yeah,
well, you got to trade him.
he's 25 already. So yeah, I mean, it just feels like nothing's really gonna happen in Sacramento until they decide to like fully hit the rebuild button.
What if they just go Maxine Raynaud here? That would be pretty cool. Jace Richardson still on the board. That would honestly be like your Cole Anthony replacement would be Jace Richardson here.
Yeah.
Man, they played him really well too that series against Boston. I just said that actually, Malika. Thank you though.
Yeah, guard feels pretty likely here for Orlando.
Cam Jones. Listen, I said that Orlando is like the team that I'm going to probably pay attention to the most outside of Indiana, probably. New Orleans maybe entered some of that territory. Atlanta has kind of entered that territory. But if they go Cam Jones here, it'll undoubtedly be. I love their jerseys. I just love them. I just love them.
Yeah, the rebrand was an A plus from me. Some good rebrand. Clippers was very good.
Yep.
Orlando's been very good. Utah this a couple of years ago was okay, but
They're new. I like what they got going now.
they're I don't know. I don't know. It's okay.
I like the mountains. I honestly
The mountain jerseys. Yeah, I'm glad they have those.
I
Those are
think
good.
that Stockton Mountain jersey is probably the best uniform in the history of basketball, if I'm being honest. That's probably my favorite one.
Trying to think. I don't know if there's been any other ones recently. I feel like there was.
I didn't hate the Raptors, honestly. I know a lot of people didn't like them, but I think it's
Oh, did they released their jerseys? I feel like
no, they're running it back.
Oh, okay.
They're running it back.
Interesting.
Thanks. Okay. Well, Malika, pick sense. Just take me down. Just take me down to the boss, man. Guys are still on the board here that I'm kind of surprised by. Honestly, no one. Honestly, no one. Oh, here we go. Maybe Rasheer Fleming, but
First name brought up.
tip the cap. Tip the cap. I would rather it's been Cam Jones, just because I like him more, but I feel pretty good about that. I like that. Just a little undersized. Solid shooter, though.
And that is probably the number one thing on Orlando Magic's list currently is outside shooting. Addressed it a lot with Desmond Bain for sure, but still need a little bit more. Also, we talked about it a little bit before, but kind of a backup point guard and kind of two birds with one stone here with this pick.
Yeah, you get off Cole Anthony and also draft a very similar player. And it's cheaper. So
Now, I'd still say they probably need like a starting caliber point guard. Unless you want, I mean, you could have Jalen Suggs play point guard, I suppose.
Anthony Black,
Yeah.
I figured that was the direction they were going.
So there's definitely options there. But like if they really want to go here, I say maybe look for a guard in free agency. especially one that could
Yeah.
shoot, just to add a little bit more shooting
Right.
and really have like a starter caliber ready to go. Like one of these guys could for sure get there. But yeah,
Hell with it. 1 trillion more commercial breaks.
right.
Listen, Brooklyn. Okay, Brooklyn should trade one of these picks, probably, right?
It would make sense.
But what do you trade it for? You trade it for just more picks next year?
Yeah, I think if you can like get it into a couple future seconds or like a future first, why not? Or a future first and a second. Unless there's somebody there or a couple people there that you really like. Surely we can get through these last 5 picks without another commercial.
You would think. Celtics are going to get someone really good. I just know it.
Yeah, we said it at the beginning. Feels rather important with what they're going to get their picks right. It's usually pretty important to get your picks right, but even more so now, especially if they want to stay really competitive whenever things get really tight with money. So yeah, it's pretty important pick. Even though next year, I mean, they're going to be a playoff team, but it does feel a bit like a wash with Tatum out.
Which is fine. I mean, who knows, though? Jaylen Brown could, emerge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to completely, count out Jaylen Brown being, a legit number one option. He did win Finals MVP when they won the championship, so it's definitely not out of the question. And if they already have nice pieces around them. If they can put together just a little bit more, it's not crazy to think top 4 seed again for Boston.
Can you imagine? You know, you go to Duke, you're the number 1 overall pick, and you get to start you get your first job. And it's in Dallas. That's a good market to be in. It's a good place to go live. First job at 18 years old. It's literally like he's starting college. Hope he doesn't treat it like that, but
I say Cooper Flagg is probably going to be all right.
I think Cooper Flagg's gonna figure it out, huh?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say he figures it out rather quickly, just based on things people say. I mean, the thing I always go back to with Cooper Flagg is the way people that were in the building talked about him whenever he was going up against Team USA. And just the fact that, a lot of people were like, yeah, he was, he very easily could have been a guy on that team or, was outplaying some of the guys, definitely outplaying the guys he was playing with that were on his team playing against Team USA, but, it looked like he fit right in with the rest of Team USA, which, I mean, I don't think I have to remind people who was on that team: Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron, Tatum, Halliburton. Probably I'm forgetting names, that Devin Booker. So yeah, Embiid. So just the way people talk about that, and I know it's just like a practice game and whatever, but
Yeah, that's all you got.
I feel like that holds a lot of weight to me. So yeah, I think he'll figure it out probably rather quickly.
Speaking of figuring it out quickly,
Yeah. See, why can't we do the lottery like this again? Please?
they'd find ways to rig it. They'd freeze it and make it cold, one colder than the other.
I'm not even worried about it rigging, but the reaction he
I
just
agree.
had right there, that's great television. And then the complete opposite of a guy being like maybe they had good odds for the number 1 pick, and it's like a year like this year where Cooper Flagg's coming out and a team I don't know, Washington, who drops so far, seeing the reaction live, come on, that's good television.
Right. I agree. And plus, it's their reactions instead of surprise, shock. Oh my goodness! It's yeah, we got the number 1 pick. What are you gonna do about it?
Right.
Thank you, New York. Thank you.
Yeah. I think You know, I think in the moment it felt like a lot from Mikal Bridges for sure. But now it's like, wow, that was really a lot.
Bobby Marks. Oh boy.
I mean, surely there's no world where Cam Thomas isn't back. Dude, I like Cam Thomas a lot. I know he's
Fun.
not like
No, he's fun.
he's not like a Cam Johnson that priority wise, but he's still so young too. It's like you got to bring him back.
Check on in. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know much about him, and by I don't know much, I don't know anything about Ben Sirah.
Israel. I wonder how many Israeli NBA
Uh,
players there are or has been.
I bet our good friend over at the Kentucky Network, Eli Jacobs, is pretty excited about that. Shout out to him.
Currently, there's only one in the NBA.
Who is it?
Denny I can't say his last name.
Advia.
Yeah, in Portland. Since 1946, there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. TJ Leaf was it Israeli?
Didn't know that.
Did-
I was too pissed that we drafted TJ Leaf to understand his nationality.
Did not know that either.
Like, listen, people talk about like the amount of good drafting that Kevin Pritchard and company have done, but it was pretty bad there for a minute. It was really bad. And Goga,
Goga Batazzi did.
TJ Leaf,
Dog.
George Niang.
I mean, at least a lot of those guys are still in the league right now, so
Yeah, and they've done nothing.
it's not guys. Well, yeah, but it's not guys that are out of the league at
I was
least.
just thinking about that today. I was like, I wonder how George Niang like keeps like getting contracts. Like, how is he still?
Dude, Danny Wolf's not happy, dude. He can't believe these guys are going ahead of him.
I almost said something really.
Maybe he falls to OKC next round. I don't know. I just like his size and his playmaking really a lot. And I guess that's something that I underrated. That's what a lot of people are saying that Sorber had too, was like he had good passing skills at his size. So
Danny Wolf is frustrated.
dude, he is. You got to keep that in,
Hey,
dog.
look at Never mind. Never mind. I'll save that one. I'll save that one. Oh man, it's really hard. I don't think I'd get in a lot of trouble for that one. I don't think a lot of people would care, but just in case. Oh man, I just hate to see it. I just hate to see a guy from Michigan just fall. I just hate to see it. Please fall out of the first round. That would be awesome.
All right, 2027 first round pick for Oklahoma City back in that one. Protected 1 through 16.
There you go.
Not great, but it's the 24th pick.
Jalen Harrelson.
Turns into 2 seconds if it doesn't convey the next year.
There's too many confusing trades.
Or no, sorry, it turns into 2 seconds in 2027 if it doesn't convey. That doesn't. So, okay.
Sure.
Sure, yeah.
Danny Wolf.
Dude, he is not happy at all. Man.
Good. Now, what's worse? He's falling or he got drafted by the Nets and he's pissed.
I guess that could be a thing. Dude, could you imagine that's his reaction to getting
Throwing a
drafted?
fit. Breaking.
Thanks, Adam.
Riveting stuff. Why did he look so mad?
Why did he look that mad? Was he mad that it just took that long?
Maybe he was trying to hold back tears, maybe?
Maybe, potentially. I don't know, but the way his agent was talking to him and stuff like it
Oh,
looked like.
Dusty May, go home. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, he seems pretty happy about it now. Like, he seems emotional about it, which I think is a good sign. But yeah, that was weird.
I would say this: Danny Wolf could get paid $0 this year, and he'll still probably have more money than everyone drafted tonight. And by that I mean I'm pretty confident his family is filthy rich.
Right.
Like that's why he didn't come back to. That's why he didn't go back to Michigan. Is because the NIL they were paying him didn't mean shit. So Danny Wolf is a Brooklyn Net.
I like the fit.
You like his fit?
I do. No, not his fit. I like the fit on the team.
Sorry, dude. I'm getting to that point of the night.
I mean, surely he's going to get asked what that was about. By somebody.
Dude, look at this kid. He looks like I don't know. I don't know.
Who's next? Boston.
All right. Okay, we're at Boston, so they're gonna get Maxine right now, and we're gonna have to just like it. Vladislav Golden, go home. Rasheer Fleming falling out of the first round would be interesting. So would Liam McNeely. Oh no, Kobe Brea has entered the best available. Jeez. It's a big ass ring.
That is a very big ring.
Yeah. We know he just had a great performance. He's born on third base, and there's a pass ball. He got halfway down the line on the jump, too.
Really? That's what he wanted?
He wanted.
Look-
It did not look like he wanted.
Didn't look like it. Boston needs a forward. That's what I'm thinking here. Get a wing.
Oh shit! I cut him off. All right, cool. I don't know much about him, but
Real Madrid.
projected
Wing.
first rounder. Dude, did they just cut off Danny Wolfson?
I don't know. Adam Silver's. All right, guys, we gotta wrap this up.
Soon enough. Well, I mean, shoot, dude. They're probably 20 minutes over at this point. This draft's been 3 hours for
That
5-minute picks.
That is actually ridiculous. There's no way this should take this long.
All right, we got 2 more picks. Just let me see Cam Jones get picked here tonight. And if not, I'm gonna have plenty of time to buy up a bunch of property tonight. So. Oh boy.
So this is Charlotte, right? With the Phoenix pick.
Yes. This is the Mark Williams trade, which
Micic is back, baby.
what a weird trade. What
He
a
is
weird
32
trade.
now, by the way, even though he's played 3 years in the league, I believe.
Well, that's just barely more time than shoot, who was it that only played 4 years of basketball in his life? Oh, it was Jon Berenger.
So yeah, I mean, they got a need for center now, or at least backup center. I'm
Maxine Reynaud.
assuming Nurkic is probably there for the year, unless he's dealt at the deadline, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I would say probably big guy.
Let's just see what we got here in that range. Ryan Kalkbrenner could be fun. Yeah, I can't imagine if they go big man here.
We need an athletic
man.
guy in Charlotte.
Yannick Koda-Niedenhauser.
Pick and roll demon that can run with LaMelo. That's the fit they need.
Honestly, Yannick Koda-Niedenhauser would low key be interesting if that's the case. But Kalkbrenner would
Imagine that, another
One.
commercial. I thought we'd get through the last 5.
for 2 picks. You couldn't just announce the 2 picks. Oh, I guess they're not in theoretically, but whatever.
So yeah, Nets keep all their first rounders.
So
Pick with all of them.
Ace Bailey has informed his agent of his decision to retire from the NBA. Okay. He was literally in the crowd.
It's my new favorite guy.
Yes, dude. Good for him. One day we're gonna have a nice studio like this. It's gonna be great.
Be much more comfortable in these chairs.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't think we've ever sat in these this long because this is the first time I've been like, wow, my back really hurts right now.
We just gotta get these picks in. I mean, come on. I know they're ready to go to bed too. Phoenix is just making them wait. Hey, we stuck it out though,
We did.
even with no one watching. We stuck
This
it
is-
out.
a crazy comparison. I always love draft comparisons. Oh, sorry. Never mind. Never mind. This is who he said he models his game
Oh.
after. Never mind. I thought somebody was okay.
Comparing him to the greatest center of all time. Like, jeez.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool then.
Just
That's fine.
Man, some of us have jobs. Some of us got to go to work. I want to go home and just go to sleep immediately. I'm gonna dream about. I'm gonna watch some Hansen Yang highlights.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna be watching a lot of highlights tonight. He's definitely at the top of my list because just very intrigued now.
All right, we're dragging this out a bit here
Is that Edwin Diaz coming out, dude?
to announce the final two picks. What's Edwin Diaz up to?
I don't know. Is he hurt or what's up with that?
I don't know what his deal is. Well,
A lot of great reactions from the players tonight, dude.
they're just starting to get a little too spoiled.
Starting to
Anyway.
show their emotions a bit much. People are funny, dude.
They saw him at 7-2. They thought,
Give me that one.
Leah McNeely, Hornet.
This is Charlotte. Yeah, this is Charlotte.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're cooking over there in Charlotte, but I'm here for it.
They're cooking something.
They are.
Hopefully some wins, dude. They need some wins now. I mean, they're still kind of young, I guess. But
Good for Leah McNeely. Remember when he had long hair?
I do.
Jeez, what a terrible decision that was.
And finally, we get to the Clippers. Shout out.
Final pick of this draft, which, you know what? I will say, it's been interesting. Not as interesting as I thought it was going to be. It was good. And it's gotten me excited for some teams. Just looking at it, looking at the big board here, I am most excited after tonight about probably New Orleans. It's going to be fun. Listen, the Hornets had a pretty good draft here. Getting Con Knipple, and they also got Leah McNeely. So that's going to be fun. I mean, Washington, I guess. They're just going to, like, dude, they're going to have Walter Clayton and Trey Johnson, like, just fighting over the ball, seeing who can get the shot up the quickest next year. Brooklyn, I guess I have to care about Brooklyn. Atlanta, Orlando. So, you know, there's some interesting storylines coming from tonight. Jeez, dude.
It's pretty good, too. It was fun to face that high school team.
The house that Trent Sisley built.
That's what they're saying.
Mount
Even
Vernon.
though he was there after those guys, but that is
built it.
that is what they're saying.
Maybe they laid the foundation, but
He rebuilt it. He built it new. I don't even know what the Clippers do here.
I mean,
Guard, I guess.
that could be his mom or his girlfriend. We are not sure here at OTT.
That's mom for sure. Mom
100% mom, but
noticing.
Mom. Oh, they just go out on a limb here and just take Javon Small. It's from OKC. How did they get this pick?
This was a pick that was this was the worst of like 4 different teams. I think it was like Houston, OKC, and there's 2 other teams in it. I don't remember how they got it. So
Yeah, glad you were not a Hoosier. Anyways.
I believe this was one of the pick swaps from the Paul George trade. So the Thunder got the Clippers pick, but they've turned it. I don't know. I can't follow all of these things that happen with the picks. But yeah, it was the worst. This was like the worst of 4 different teams. And I think it was a pick swap. I think. I'm not for sure, though. But they're thinking hard about this one. Still on the clock.
Had all night.
Yeah.
Had literally 7 hours to think about this. I'm sorry, that guy's name. I saw it earlier today, actually, when I was looking. I just need to go find it again so you can hear it.
Can't wait.
Bogoljub Markovic.
That's a basketball name for sure.
All right, guys on the board for tomorrow that I am intrigued for because I enjoyed their time in college. Maxime Reynal, unless he gets picked here. Adu Thiero, unless he gets picked here. Ryan Kalkbrenner, unless he gets picked here. Jameer Watkins is a massive foul baiter. Chaz Lanier, cool. Janai Broom, John Tonji, Tyrese Proctor, Eric Dixon, Zion James, Cam Jones, Kobe Bryant, Javon Small. Victor Lakin's kind of cool, actually. Micah Peavy's Hunter Salas, love him. Ryan Nimhard. Grant Nelson. I mean, these are guys that are probably not going. Some of these guys probably won't be picked, but there's some good college guys tomorrow. So we'll see how we're doing. We'll see how we're doing.
Picks in. Let's get to it, please.
Personally, I'm going to look at this as the Hansen Yang draft.
I think I will as well.
Personally.
Yeah, he's definitely been highlighted as my favorite prospect. Didn't even know I'm coming into tonight.
Now I'll never forget him.
Yeah, I hope he has. I hope he turns into like an all-star.
Hold on, I hate to say this word. Did he go again? Did he go to Memphis?
Because no, he went to
He was drafted by Memphis, traded to Portland.
yeah, the DeAndre Ayton replacement. You're darn right, Jay. Great analysis.
Oh, thank heavens.
In no scenario should a 30-pick round, 1-round draft night last 3 hours.
Over. Said it.
You said it. Center.
I mean, so cool thing about him is Penn State did not really expect him to declare for the draft. He had an okay year. I didn't think he would. I didn't really know much about the kid before he declared for the draft. First round pick in Penn State history. You know what? Good for him, and just by the skin of his teeth.
Shout out that guy, dude.
Um,
I guess center makes sense actually for
yeah. I mean, you want to talk
Clippers.
about a project pick. I mean, this is pretty much the definition.
Yeah, definitely not playing over Zubac.
Dude, he's gonna be like the third string max.
Yeah, Drew Eubanks is still there too, so yeah, you may not see the floor a whole lot. Which, I mean, 30th pick of the draft. Not much. There could be something there, but not much you're expecting right away. Thank God. Can't wait.
It's officially time for the Pacers to go win. All right. Yeah, great stream, fun stream, I guess.
We just got to have shorter drafts all across the board, really. Every sport. Let's just shorten them up a little bit.
I agree. I do agree. Dude, you went and got your food over an hour ago. That's how long it's been. And they got like probably 6 picks in that time.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready to call it quits here.
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks for watching. If anyone's here, I don't believe so. But hey, it's off the tracks. Peace.